Hey guys, welcome back in. Yeah, 2 o'clock, still watching this Q&A taking place with Fed Chair Powell, still making some comments regarding what to expect, not only coming up in December, but going forward, heading into next year even, saying expect interest rate hikes to continue even into next year. The key, though, if you missed it, was he started off that speech by saying, the time may be now to slow the rate in which they are increasing interest rates. Obviously, we've had 3 or 4 in a row here of 75 basis points. So the Fed funds tool immediately goes to 75% on the 50 basis point hike coming up in December. Remember, that's just 2 weeks away. So this is an unexpected little gift, I guess, heading into the holiday season here from Fed Chair Powell. Back to the upside we go. We also just got the beige book release, so the market reacting a little bit back downside here with that. But let me show you how things are setting up here as we head into the afternoon. Tech is just absolutely ripping right now, right across the board. There was some comments from Mark Zuckerberg as well, saying he is fully committed to the 5 to 10 year timeline for the metaverse and is standing by that. I don't think it matters what Mark Zuckerberg says right now. The whole market's exploding. There's 1.26 right now for the S&P 2 already, 2.15 for the NASDAQ. We're only just getting started here as well. 3% for crude oil, 3% for Bitcoin, 5% now for Ethereum. Let's jump right into a few things we were discussing this morning. We mentioned, if you joined us in the pre-market, that could be a little bit of a wait and see type of a day ahead of this. And here it is. A nice gift from Fed Chair Powell as this Q&A I'm just watching continuing here. I'll let you know if anything additional comes out of this, but just an absolute monster move to the upside, an absolute monster opportunity to the upside. I hope everyone took advantage of that. We're going to get started here with a bit of a review. Sean took advantage of that. He's here. He's going to tell you how he did that.
How can't you take advantage of this, baby? This is your trade of the day, and it's brought to you by Day Trade the World. You hit that QR code below and join the #1 prop trading firm in the world, Day Trade the World. Look, I'm going to make this one short and sweet. I can show you my Twitter, and I just tweeted it out about 20 minutes ago, and it's patience. How long have I been preaching patience on this show? We're back here. We had a day off yesterday. We're back today. Ain't nothing changed. Be patient. So if you're going to look right here, again, this is Meta today. Meta's up 4.5%. The important thing about that is the market's only up 2.3%. Meta was already relatively strong against the market, which is why when Powell steps up to the podium at 2 p.m., I was instantly looking long. So let's work through the trade now. So here we go. I left Meta alone all day, as you can see here. Not one execution all the way back to the morning. Not one, not one, not one. And what we were waiting for was this 112 area. As soon as that broke, we were all the way down here. I was in meetings, doing things at lunchtime, but that doesn't matter. We would not have traded this. We were waiting. All of a sudden, 2 p.m. hits. Boom goes the dynamite. We get long instantly on a 112 break. Be patient. Goes up. 1 out, 2 outs, 3 outs. We're out of 60%. That's 30. That's 50. That's 60. Great trading. This is scalping. We're holding 40%. But guess what? Boom. This is where I hit the bang button. It comes right back down. And I even said to Pratt on the midday show, and I said it right now again, this move is going to extend. Do not get out. We're $7 in the money on Microsoft as we speak. It comes back in, gives me that 112 again. Where are we going to get out? Down here, 111.50. We're taking 50 cents worth of risk. We've already captured that there. Pops back up. Again, boom. First out, 30 cents. Second out, $1.20. Now we're just playing with house money now, baby. I mean, all these trades coming in. And then look, boom, 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 extension. We're still long. We're in this name right now. It's Facebook. It's a move. Well, it's Meta. It's a move all the way to the upside now at 115. Check out this market. What happened? Powell came out. Here it is. Boom, faded. Boom, boom, boom. And the rest, as they say, I've said this a couple times now, is history. I feel like I want to hold Meta. I don't even have a daily chart up. We'll get that when we get back to our desk. But Meta, on the way up, it's up 5%. And look, I don't believe this move is stopping. I'm going to try to hold Meta. Like I said, we're long Microsoft right now at 241. We'll see where that price is. But it's been a big day here. It's a big day for tech. Tech leading the way now, up 2.5%. ES now, the laggard, at 1.5%.
Market clearly taking this as the all clear, if you will, for tech names. What a move for not only the NASDAQ, but Meta. We'll talk about Apple here coming up. Still watching some of these comments coming through from Fed Chair Powell, who is still speaking. But the market doesn't seem to care. We took that initial comment that he mentioned in the prepared speech of now may be the time to begin slowing the rate at which they are increasing interest rates to fight inflation. And that was all the market needed to hear, because he has said a few things that have been a little bit cautionary, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. But I'll keep my eye on that. Let's jump into, that's the watch list, guys. If you need that link, grab that every single day. Has everything you need to know in the pre-market and then some. Here's the SPY, back above 4,000 for the ES and then some. That I was just looking, talking off camera here, I was just looking for that high from last week. Which was 40.30 if you're watching the ES, or 403 here on the SPY for day highs. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening here, guys, as far as tech is concerned, because it is the NASDAQ leading 2.6 versus 1.5 for tech names versus the rest of the market. Is this the all clear from Fed Chair Powell?
Look, it's a short-term pump because everybody's sort of caught off guard by it, which I don't know that it was probably more risk where the ES was sitting, where the NASDAQ was sitting for this to happen, because you were sitting on those lows. When we talk about the difference between the two, I got my trail on Meta right now. The NASDAQ has broken out. This is the difference. You've already broken out. You're kind of well above the week's range. The ES is at resistance. So if you're watching something on the S&P, you're kind of at resistance levels right there. But look, you just take advantage of what you see in front of you. I happen to already be in Meta when we were there, because it was that same breakout price at 111 that we added when we left you guys in the morning. 111 was a break. It was dipping off that same price. So I got fortunate that I was sitting in it, and I took the same break to add that Sean did. Tesla could get to 190 here. You just got to pay attention to that. I reversed in NEO. Anything that was a short turned into a long. It almost didn't matter. I went into NEO at that time off VWAP, so that's even grinding up. I was shorting that pretty much all morning. And I was in 4. There was a mistake I made in 4, which is getting out of all of it. You should have hold on to anything that you had to the long side. It's like I was shorting forward all afternoon. The second that came out, just reverse. Didn't matter. Tech name, auto name, I don't give a darn. When that happens, you're going to make a reversal play. This has gotten to resistance. Ford was already weak. I'm only coming to this because I see a shorting opportunity here in Ford off of this 1380 pre-market high, so I want to make sure I got to that. But I'm trailing my Meta out here at 114.50. I'm looking to buy dips in NVIDIA. That was already strong. If it was strong before this as a tech name, I like it on the way back down. That's NVIDIA to me.
Yeah, I mean, what a great time to trade. I mean, I was talking with some traders there during lunchtime as well, and it was like, you got to be patient, you got to wait. And I heard Ian say the same thing about, November's been a little bit rough, and I've talked about that it's too much back and forth. I feel like a lot of the times you don't get these direct moves, right? So that when we have one like we do right now on Microsoft, I mean, look where we're long on Microsoft right now, 241. It's up to 248. Now, the only thing about this here that I'm noticing again with our boy Softy is, of course, that there's going to be some downside pressures here coming for Microsoft. So, up to 248. And if we zoom back out here a little bit, that chart's not going to work. It was this 248 level right here that we've already seen. So we've already seen this level at 248. It just touched it and dropped. So if this is not resistance up here, then Bob's your uncle. I don't know where else I'm supposed to get out. I'm going to wait to see one more chance here, see what happens at this level. But I like this 248 right here as possible resistance. So before it's too late, man, we got to watch out for this Microsoft. I don't need this to pull back. I see what Neil's saying about getting out of some of these huge winners. Like, we're $3 in the money on AMD. We're $3 in the money on Meta. We're $7 in the money on Microsoft. And we're 15 whopping cents in the money on an XPEV short that I took right there at the high of the day. So I'm actually playing this kind of both ways here as we hold on to something short and some nice tech long. So let's see where we go. But I like this day, man. It's been a great day to trade, and we're going to go through our rundown in a minute, just looking at Microsoft and thinking about that 248 level.
Just be aware, Mark Zuckerberg is making some comments right now as well, talking about the metaverse, talking about Reels, specifically suggesting that Reels has half the usage of TikTok outside of China. So just be aware if you're watching Meta. Mark Zuckerberg talking right now. Let's get into a few things we were discussing in the pre-market, as I mentioned, to kick things off here this afternoon. Chinese ADRs were back to the upside in a big way, initially pre-market, and then this happened to XPeng, an absolute monster today. They reported their earnings were not good. The forecast was even worse, but yet here we are up 45% on the day.
Yep. So it's a weird day because
I hate that stock.
yeah, now we have to get reminded about how the morning went. So it is what it is. I had XPeng. I thought it was an ugly report. I wasn't a huge fan of it. There was a long I liked. It was NEO. And I missed it anyways because everything just went so crazy ham. And once this happened and it was going parabolic, I just started looking for short levels. Thankfully, I only went for 3 because if you look at the 15-minute, this will stand out. There's 940. That's the first place I went short, almost instantly out. $10 level. That's another place I went short. And then the one that was working was 1020. When it got up to 1020, this is the one I think we left you guys in the afternoon show. That was the level that really started to pay off. Was getting shorts out down in the 980 range. It never came all the way to VWAP. And then when that channel broke, it was kind of an easy thing to go reverse long and scalp it. I'm not holding the long on XPeng because I don't believe in it. Quite frankly, it's just an insane kind of pump move where you get so much pressure relieved, and this stock had gone so far to the downside. The programs come in, free shorts, everybody gets caught off guard, and then it's a squeeze to the upside. It's hard to buy those at the top and hang on, but I scalped it one time for reversal. I'm long NEO now, if only because this was the one, I was actually trading this one at the time things kind of reversed. So I was shorting it off VWAP. It was working down here, and this XPeng was a lot stronger than NIO. That's why I liked it short. But then once you're back VWAP, I was just looking for the long, which I'm still sitting in off of VWAP on NIO. And then there's one last one you gotta show, which is Pinduo Duo. If you want this chart perfectly exemplifies everything that happened today in the Chinese ADRs, because everything was going crazy. PDD was only went down, held sideways. Nothing. Like, what's going on? EKG off of $80 back and forth. And then randomly at 1 o'clock, bye-bye, joins the party. And if you were sitting in this, I know Prague got away from a short there. Hats off to you, because if you walk away from that, if you're sitting short waiting for it to flush, and you got out of that unscathed, good job. I'm going to hang on to NEO, see if we can get to the high of the day there. But if it gets through VWAP, I want to be out of it. This is now about big tech. I think, looking for opportunities and some relative strength. I'm kicking myself over NVIDIA. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we're $3 right now in the money on AMD. I could imagine what NVIDIA would be at right now. $3 in the money on AMD, $3 on Meta, 7 on Softy. And then we're talking about XPEV. So this is going to be my negative stock here today. And yeah, I didn't believe it either, man. I mean, here's the move up all morning, just ripped upside. We were able to catch some shorts back in right here at 10.25 at that time. Started covering it 10s, 10, something like that. And then eventually it takes out the top, and then look, rips up higher, now up 45%. Wow, what an amazing story XPeng is today. And I don't even know what the story is. I mean, their earnings weren't that great. We've sort of been identifying that as we go, and deliveries. I don't know. I feel like big time manipulation happening in these Chinese names. We are short. I took advantage of this move right there, got short on that, and then just capitalized again. So here we are, short 1080. And again, we don't want to be short this name forever. I'm out of more than half of this trade already. Bought it, shorted it there at 75, shorted again at 80 against the high of the day, 85. So already, man, like these shorts are about 6 or 7 to 1 risk to reward. Like we were going to give up 6 pennies here, and already we started capturing 15, 16. So I'm hoping that we can get a move back down here into the 200 period for XPEV. And then, yeah, ADRs, Chinese names. I haven't looked at anything other than Chinese ADRs, but they are definitely making the move up today. Alibaba is one of those insane ones as well, Brendo.
Like, why is this guy talking? Still some comments coming through on Meta. Yeah, he's talking about Apple in the App Store now. So Zuckerberg's still talking. Just be aware for Meta, guys. It's not affecting the stock at all, but he could potentially say something. Speaking of tech, as we were just discussing, JP, number 2 on the list there this afternoon. Just in context of the overall market, now 2.7 for the NASDAQ, 1.5 for the S&P, guys. Not a green candle in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 15 minutes on each. Quite the move here for tech specifically.
A little bit.
It's just, I mean, we talked about this, and like I said, we turned over to Ian and Pratt. I'm like, this thing is still going. Like, I don't know. Pratt was getting in and out of something, and I was like, I don't know, man. This name, these markets, not this name, continues to make moves. And I said it over there. Sharif is sitting right there. I said to him, I said, we could be up, the NASDAQ was up 2% when I said this. I said, we could be up 4% by the time this is over with. I mean, I just remember, and again, part of being a trader, you sort of have to have decent memory to try to remember what happened last time. Sometimes it's a negative thing. You don't want to remember everything. But, you know, in this situation, I just remember the last time CPI came out, we had, it wasn't Michael Noss. Who was it? Oh, it was Mike from True Trading Group. And we talked about sort of the movement that happens when CPI comes out. And it was just like, when it's been a negative number, the market has continued. When it's been to the downside, or negative for the reading. And then the upside, when the number's been better, the market's kept on going. And it hasn't mattered when you got in. It just mattered to get in and be long. So that's basically what we're doing right now. I mean, I don't know. What are we talking about? Tech rallies? Okay, let's keep going. Look at Microsoft. I mean, we bought this dip here, and again, why did we buy this? I bought this against this bottom. Like, this was going to be, again, about a 50-cent hit at most. Look at it go up. There's me taking 50 cents on a third of it, right? There's another third out right there for $1. So now we're already rocking, and then we have that last third on board now, which is now $7, $8 in the money, and still going higher. So, like, I don't know where these are stopping, guys, but Microsoft continues to go to the upside, and honestly, like, we've just taken that out. My worry was this level, this 248. It said, Sean, hold my beer. There's no worry to be worried about. And in fact, hit the siren. We may be even going up higher. So right now, Microsoft, big move to the upside. It's only up 3.5%. And there you go, Sharif. You're now up 3%. So we're halfway there, man. This move is going to continue to the upside. I'm enjoying these longs. AMD's $4, Meta's $4, and Microsoft is $8 in the money, guys.
Yeah, I feel like it's about what's next, because some of these names are getting to big prices. I'm just keep moving my trail on Meta. There's no technical out that I have on Meta, so I had a trail at 114.5. I'm going to bump that up 50 pennies, see where it can go. I just lost 5 cents shorting forward. I'll probably take pot shots at things that I thought were weak this morning, but it'll be pot shots to the short side. Like, you'll notice I'm not even short Intel, which I'll get to that one in a second. But it's Amazon I wanted to look at here, because Amazon's approaching $95. And my first thought is, not necessarily do I want to short 95, but if it dips, where do I want to buy? So if it dips off 95, I for sure want to buy 93.5. That's a bit of ways away. That's where it broke out. That's yesterday's afternoon resistance. I'm buying all day in front of resistance that was significant. So that to me is like this 93.5, and you just want to stick to that in tech. But I have to get this one out of the way on this rally. We talked about the Chinese names. I'm not buying you, NEO. Like, it's just, if NEO gets anywhere near $13, I'm just going to get out of it. I feel like these are all overdone, and I'm not sure they should have any business going through those highs of the day. So it's just simply about hanging on to the winners at this point. I'll kick myself over for it, but at the end of the day, if you had told me that after that nonsense in China, to be able to get green on the session from Powell, thank you, Papa Powell, because that's not how the day was headed after battling some of those shorts. Like, for every winner this morning, there was another loss. Now it's just really hanging on to your longs. Sometimes the market gives you a gift, and you just want to be able to take it. Didn't seem like it was going to be a green day. Now it is.
Let's talk about CrowdStrike here. It's now 3.2% for those keeping score for the NASDAQ. Wow. Even Crowd, I was just mentioning, even CrowdStrike trying to participate in this rally. Back to the upside we go, guys, in a big way. That's 116 at the top there, or thereabouts, trying to come into play. Crowd still down huge, obviously, off this report, but begrudgingly being dragged along with this market back higher.
So it's crazy, because Crowd was my best stock before this Meta stuff happened.
What in the heck is going on?
I didn't even realize CrowdStrike was back up here, to be honest.
Sharif, almost 4%.
This was the level. This was a level on CrowdStrike. It was 116. I'm not shorting it. Forget about it. It was good this morning. The dip buy was perfect, because you gave you that test of the bottom. Can't break the low, only one place to go. That's what happened. But then we shorted the top when it got there. I played it to VWAP. if anything, I want to look for maybe even a breakout here on CrowdStrike. I'd much prefer a consolidation. I can zoom in now for you guys to see it. I'd much prefer to look at where it consolidated and buy dips and just take breaks at the high until I can find something significant on the charts. But yeah, CrowdStrike was a good one. It's just everything went to the upside. It didn't matter what you are or how bad the report was. Especially when you think about it, though, Crowd was 74, 73, or 74 forward PE. So, obviously with what Powell said, that's going to be it's going to be a short-term boon for anyone that was getting beat up on a valuation standpoint. I don't think this company's out of the water by any stretch of the imagination. But at the same time, I want to be buying dips just about everywhere. I'll look 113.5 if there is a pullback. But my first thought when I see the resistance levels is this could give a dip to be able to get in. I have to really love something to the short side to try even thinking about it.
I mean, I just tweeted it out. It's absolutely amazing. Like, this has just been, I looked at Pratt and was like, what? Like, I cannot believe that this is what's happening, because I remember when Pratt was like, oh man, we're $4 in the money on Microsoft over here. We're now $8. Like, this is just continuing, man. The movement is just upside like nuts. I think I'm going to I was just going to say, I think about getting out. And then we just almost taken 250 right now. Lots of upside. I was doing the trade of the day 20 minutes ago, and I said we'll probably get to 4%. The market was up 2% then. Now you're rocking here, but don't get too carried away. I know we're on CrowdStrike, CrowdStrike, yeah. I don't even remember the names of these things anymore. We lost on CrowdStrike today trying to go long, which is probably going to look bad right now. But forget about it. I got to try to find something else to get out of right now. AMD, like, some of these names are just at such great levels. Like, we're $4 now in the money on this AMD trade right here that we held. It's just a shame that we didn't get longer down here at 72.80. And of course, like I said, I was busy during the lunchtime hour, but that would have been another great support buy down there for Advanced Micro. So we always write it here on our sticky note. Join me every single day at Trader TV. Sean, you can find that. But AMD is a name that we definitely wanted to get to the long side. Because we're on CrowdStrike, okay, yeah, now you're at 115. We wrote down we wanted that 115 buy. We came in, it averaged us into it there. We took a little bit of profit. Then when it broke 112.50, we got out. So back and forth there on CrowdStrike. Really not too much damage, but wow, like Neil mentioned, we're fine. We've seen this happen before. I cannot believe the battle back that's happened in this market today. It's absolutely phenomenal. I just want to say congratulations to anybody that sort of followed the discipline that we continuously preach on the show. I couldn't be more proud, honestly, of this meta trade. Like, waiting for the break and taking it, and then watching this happen. I mean, this is just like, honestly, it's kind of like a day trader's dream, this move today, because you can't be wrong. Like, as long as you're long here, you can't be wrong. It's one of those things where the only wrong mistake you could have made if you're long was getting out too early. And I've done that. I did that today, or else I'd have 100% of the trade, right? This is the days that you're waiting for as a trader, and I couldn't be happier to be here with everybody.
I was just noting 100 points on the S&P from low of day to the high. Unreal, 100 points straight up. Here's Boeing even trying to participate in this rally here this afternoon with the overall market. Back to 178, we talked about it in the pre-market. It was gapping higher on that note that they might be able to get the extension on that safety certification for the 787 MAX. But we did fade off that 180 all the way back to where it was yesterday. But nice bounce underway here for Boeing.
Yeah, look, Boeing actually, to me, this is one of the names that I almost want to put in the bucket of where can I think about shorting it. And quite frankly, I like the long, and I took the breakout long 178 to 180. And I talked about that was the first level I liked. If 180 broke, I liked it on the higher time frame. That was based on the daily chart. Trying to go quickly here because there's other fish to fry. But there's your 180. I think there was lots of room to go. It never broke 180. So I tried to reload off that breakout. Tight stop out there. Took the long off the low of the day. Tight stop out, and then I just walked away from the stock. So you make sure your losses are small. You take the outs and hold for the bigger move when you get the win. I just see a stock that it's not even where this thing was breaking out. So if the breakout was 178.50 and Powell just gave the pump of all pumps and they can't get through 178.50, I almost feel like I need to be shorting this one. I just don't know if I want to go into a short until he's done. So I keep checking to see if he's done, and when he's done, or yeah, whenever he's done, I think it might be an opportunity to get into these. And I think, Boeing 178.50, 180, the two levels that got rejected today, both make some sense to me. I'm trailing Meta, so at any point I could get trailed. As a matter of fact, I just got trailed out on Meta.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing here.
So I've just been following. Like I looked at this little checkup here at 115, and I was just like, the next time it does this, I'm just going to get out. Because I missed a chance to get back. This is your chance to get back in. I don't know if it has another one of these. It's crazy if it would have another one of those in there. So I'm out of Meta. NEO's a bit of a different story. I was just looking for 13 even on NIO. So I might not get that one. I don't want this one rolling over on me, so I might trail it as well. And I hate to say it, but XPeng's at 11. It's awfully tempting to be short XPeng as well. But that Boeing makes sense to me. Anything that couldn't get through resistance when Powell gave this pump, that is resistance that I would rather stand by as opposed to things that got blown out. So as I look over at Boeing, I started the day wanting the long on it, but 178.50 does look like a good opportunity. I know where I'm wrong at least, which is always the basis of any trade.
Yeah, so, wow. I was looking here. What are we talking about? Boeing that.
Disney?
Disney's going to be next Disney's week today. Okay. We're just tweeting this out right here because of Microsoft. Look, I was kind of just chuckling because I can't believe we're at 250 right now. It's the amount of money that it's just amazing being a trader because you can either make absolutely no money and it's like the worst job ever, or it's like when these kind of days happen, you're like, oh my God, it's unlike anything else I feel like that you can do for a job, and I'm just blessed to be able to do this for you. But got my stop here at 249. If it breaks 249, we're going to get out of that as well. Same thing for AMD. I just feel like we're getting a little bit top heavy right now. $4 in the money on AMD seems to be a lot. That dump off spot, but I don't want to get out. That's the problem. I think for this one, we'll wait till 75.50 for AMD, and then we already talked about it. Let's see what happens at 250 for Softy. I mean, this market is so nuts. Do we even want to punch long at 250 here? Normally this would be a huge long. Here goes Microsoft right now. I just kind of want to sit in this, man, and wait to see. This is what I'm feeling right now. Microsoft up to 250. Normally I'd get out. This is a monster level and say, hey, let's take the $9. But wow, huge level here for Microsoft. Let's check out the level for Facebook here. Meta 117. I mean, wow. And the thing is too, I bought more Palantir today in the long-term account. Remember we talked about that down near $7, 750 right now. So that's also a nice little bump up. Watch out for Palantir though, because Palantir has Snowflake earnings on board, I believe, tonight. Yeah. So although we didn't do the earnings board earlier, I know Snowflake is on there. So that could be something to watch for Palantir shareholders.
I wanted to mention, Sean, you mentioned Disney there, but wow, what a move for Disney. This is going to be irrelevant at this point. We were talking about some impairment charges that they announced in the pre-market this morning in regards to some of these changes that Bob Iger is making. But yeah, that's 94 at the bottom. We're now at 97, guys, straight higher for Disney.
I was just looking at Snowflake because you brought it up. I'm like, I kind of wonder where Snowflake is. Up 4%. They go into their earnings tonight. The other one, earnings tonight are CRM and Salesforce. I think we went over that. But yeah, look, Disney was relatively weak. But if you see what's going on with Netflix, first of all, Netflix is really close to a monster level at 315. And by really close, I mean $10 away, which is about the size of the move that it already made now. So I think that's actually to be respected. But Disney, that's been a bit of a dog. It might go into that bucket with Boeing for me where I could see an opportunity for shorts. It might be a little closer to 98. So I'm kind of hoping this extends. If we get to 98 on Disney, I feel like that's going to be a bit too much. You're going to have the 50-period moving average get tested, and then you can go out in front of that one. So there's some room for it to go before I'd maybe get interested. But this is one I'm not chasing this. I'm not really going to buy dips in Disney either. But let's talk about, just because it's kind of related, Netflix, man. 8% now, 315 up top. This will be easily my biggest regret. Because we had to, I don't know, the show ended, I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom. I was in a long in Netflix, and I kind of bungled my way out of that long, and I didn't just jump right back in when it broke out. It's not going to age well, but it's not as if I knew this was going to happen later on. So I'm more mad about the fact that I missed out on 87 to 90. Now it's at 305. It's insane. That's $20 from where it broke out, and at that point, it was the strongest stock in the market and up $8 from the bottom. This was trading at 280, barcoding in the pre-market, and you could see 10% to the upside, which, by the way, 10% is going to be at about 310 on this stock. So highlight the 310 if Netflix gets there, and 315 is a monster level. It's about the only place I'd think about a short or a curl here at Netflix, but if I do take something, like I said, Boeing, that makes sense. X paying off 11, that makes sense. Some of these other ones, it's more like where would it have to dip to for you to get along? That's what I'm kind of thinking here. I think there's going to be a dip, but there's only a few stocks that I want to be short if that's the case.
Yep. With you on all of that. I'm just starting to set up some of these orders here as we go to make sure that we get out of these positions. We've already talked about Microsoft, 249. I'm looking at AMD. I mean, they're all still high. So I'm just trying to review some of the trading strategies that I'm going to have if and when they break. So that's just one of them right there. So trying to get out of AMD breaking below 75.60, sorry, right there, the 50 period. That's what we're going to try to watch out for right there coming through. So that's one spot there. The other spot for Meta, this one's a little more difficult here. Like 115, I feel like is almost too low. It's almost better to get it out right here. 116 break. I have a feeling like because this market seems to be turning a little bit now, maybe checks over shoulder. I see Powell gone. We can get a double check from that. But let's just wait to see here what people are thinking now. So there it is.
My bad.
What is it in the chat?
He's done. It's in the chat.
I don't hear anything. Okay, good. So it's in the chat. So yeah, Powell is done. So watch out for a little bit of a pullback. I still feel strong about Meta, man. So I'm going to wait for 115.50. You break through 115.50, we're going to get out. Let's just continue to hold all of these. We have our targets. If we get taken out, we get taken out. Look, if I got out earlier, this is the thing about all this. Like if I got out earlier, then we wouldn't have the winners, right? So you got to be a little bit sketchy on what you're doing, because if you get out too early, like I sort of did here, not that it's too early, this is $1 in the money, $1.50 in the money, sorry. But then you don't have that, right? And so if every single time there was a pullback I got out, we would be out a long time ago. 115.50, long story short for Meta. What's up, Brando?
New York Times Deal Book Conference is underway right now. Netflix CEO and CEO Reed Hastings is now speaking at said conference. So here's what Netflix is doing right now, just taking out the high a day.
Stock is on a different level right now. Like it was already like the strongest thing this morning. Well, maybe there was something else that was going. I got to get I'm trying to trade forward here, so this is why it's on the chart. But I was just showing Netflix like 280 this morning, and then I thought it was cool at 286. And next thing you know, we're looking at 305, and I'm thinking 310, 315 for resistance on that one. I just heard in the chat, who was it that just said in the chat, and they were talking about you can get $3 on 400 calls. I didn't see I don't know what the date, what the exact.
Expiry.
I mean, it was forward to strike. I don't know what the expiry was on that, but 400, I mean, whatever. Maybe it is.
What was the talk?
What
was it?
Basically, he was saying you can basically get $3 for selling 400. I got to double check to see, because I don't know exactly what the expiry was on those, but I'm trying to get forward short. I'm in Boeing. Powell's gone. I said when Powell's done, I would take a shot back at Ford. It's off yesterday's highs. This is 1390. It's a significant level anyway, so I'm going to sit on the offer here so if I can get some. I'll try to chase it to 80s. That's as far as I'll go. Boeing here, I want some X-Pang if I can get, but that's kind of already gone. Boeing, I did jump into this one, 77.70. I just got some Ford now, so I'm looking for a bit of a retracement play here in some names. Boeing just couldn't get through the breakout price. I like that breakout this morning. It rejected it before Powell finished. The market was still going when this made a bit of a lower high there. So I'm always going to like relative weakness. Well, I mean, it's not that weak because it's up 1%. But when it shows me it couldn't break the top on that Powell pump, I'm going to take a shot shorting it to be sure. Still in NIO. I do want to give that one to VWAP. And then XPeng, if I get it, I really don't want to let it get through $11. We talked this morning about not having even dollar stops and giving an extra few cents. All that did for me on XPeng by not having my stops at the even level, I just ended up losing the extra 5 cents each time. So I'm probably just going to stop out at 11 even this time.
Yeah, that's exactly. So you just basically read my mind. I was looking for something to reverse into the short. The only name I've been short today, it has been XPEV, and it's been an absolute disaster. So let's not think that, oh my God, we're short XPEV here, this is going to work. I mean, it worked there, and then we got stopped out for, I think we had a little bit less than a third left when that, way less, what am I talking about, than a third on for there. But I'm going to wait till that $11 mark, just give it up to that. If it wants to rip up, we already got everything else long, so that's fine. Not that this is going to follow the market, but I feel like it's going to a little bit better right now because, like we said, Powell's gone. Let's see if it does pull back. Let's find some more. I want to hold on to these three that I have. I mean, they're absolute monsters. I want to thank everybody for all the kind talk, but I don't know. I want to try to find something that's relatively weak. So that's why I picked on XPEV, because I've been shorting it, but it's not relatively weak. Like, what about Amazon? I saw Amazon earlier that I wanted to short that
Maybe
name. CrowdStrike might be a good one on that one. I think that might be something. But then Amazon here, nice move up, but really could have extended as well. So Amazon, although it's a nice move, you are right into a level here of 95.50 or so. That should be a decent short for Amazon. What are we at, 94 and change? Yeah, so I don't mind this either. This could be a good short, probably better than XPEV right now, Amazon. But again, Amazon's going to run into some problems here at 94.50, so I feel like we got to take that. If and when we take 94.50, then it's a downside move for Amazon that I like. So let's wait for that. We might have to be patient, and patience is fine. We have the long everywhere else. The only thing that we're really losing on right now, and we're down a penny, is XPEV. Let's see if that goes to the downside. Hold on to Softy. That's coming close. We're 40 cents away. This breaks 249, we're out. If Meta breaks 115.50, we're out. No, that's close. I feel like we might be able to give this one a little bit more, but we're not going to. And then AMD as well. Ooh, that's come up now. All right, yeah, now the 50 period's moving up. I used the 50 period on a 1 minute to judge momentum and stuff, so obviously you could see it's right up there. It didn't even come close to testing it, and right now you're coming pretty close again. So I'm changing this stop order. 75.75 stop on AMD. It's still a ways away though.
Yeah, like you just want to adapt and adjust, right? Like some things are going to make sense. Like I would have normally said, oh yeah, CrowdStrike's relatively weak, but I flip back over to it and it's breaking out of resistance. So, I mean, I'm going to throw that one out the window. I did like a 120 level on CrowdStrike, so if it does go higher, I know the level I'd probably take a shot at it. That's just, we'll talk about that in $4 if it can get that $4 move to the upside. I'll stick with Boeing and Ford. Those two make a little bit more sense to me. If anything, this could have been a breakout long. I said it under my breath. I didn't do it. I didn't really like it. Apple here, like when you see something like this, it is not usually, as a day trader, where I'm thinking about a long trade. It's hard to want to take a long and take a stab at it in that kind of a range. Like you're just looking for some kind of a capitulation move into the downside and then think about that. I see people talking about a firm there, and Airbnb. Airbnb actually had a positive catalyst today, sort of. I didn't think it was a huge deal. That's that apartment deal they did. But that's squarely through the resistance that I liked at 98 even. So that 100 level that it's through, okay, you maybe have a 102 there. Like that's kind of, you're spinning at straws. Like I'd actually think about this. Like I'd rather be going long back at 98, 99 on Airbnb and just say anything that pulls back into previously broken resistance after what Powell just did, I want to go long off of that resistance. I can't see why you shouldn't retrace this entire move. This was entirely too good of a move here to retrace it all. So anything that broke out in this regard, I'm looking for those dip buys. And then, like I said, the things that didn't break, right? Like here is Boeing. Pump of all pumps, what's Boeing doing? It's rejecting give me a break. Like that's showing you its weakness. That's why I like it. If I see another chart that looks like Boeing's chart, then I'm like, yeah, that's what I should be shorting in the afternoon. So I'm gonna get some out in front of VWAP here on Boeing. Hopefully Ford can do a similar thing to me here. Here we go, we just rang the register. I wanna make sure I get paid something. It's a pretty bullish move. This is a counter trend trade. So if I'm taking a counter trend trade, I'm getting some out in front of VWAP every single time. That's just how I wanna be doing it. Ford maybe not having as much luck. I did add to this. I was stopped out once going short Ford here, but now I'm short off of yesterday's high. It's barely moved down. This is a top at 90s. I didn't really get any shares at 85. I'd love to if I can, but I don't want to get anything else till we get into the 70s. Then I'm looking at yesterday's low. That's at 1370. If it breaks yesterday's low, this should at least get back down to 1360. But the story this afternoon is, oh man, I had a short biased on Ford when I left you guys, and that is entirely the reason for the sloppiness of like when I reversed long, I was like, this stock's been a dog all day. I'm just going to start selling it immediately, but I sold it way too aggressively when I reversed the long on Ford. But it happens. Like, you have a bias and it's ingrained in your head, like this shouldn't continue going, and then you don't hold on to it, like holding on to Meta or things that are a little bit stronger.
All right, just sending something out, or I'll do that after. Okay, it was about, I had that meeting with the guy that wants to do a show, so that should be exciting. We'll talk about that after. Okay, so what are we looking at here? I just refilled the coffee, so we are reloaded right now, and I'm just looking to do the same kind of stuff that we've been doing all day. Is there anything anybody wants us to look at? Wow, Cause M is all the way back right now to 64 cents. There's Tesla, by the way.
Rising tide lifts all.
190. Rising tide lift all cause M's. Yeah,
All
it feels like that one definitely getting lifted. There's Tesla right now, 190 as well. I just wanted to go over that. Where are we on Tesla? Okay, so we're way up. Tesla, great move. And again, I'm already in all these longs. I'm going to let this float. Like, I'm going to let these names float. We already have our outs. If they get out, they get out. I'm not going to retake another big tech name right now for the long, for sure. Could look for the short. Yeah, Pan W. Well, that's because CrowdStrike, right?
I know, but
all right, just quickly here. I feel a little silly if I don't. I heard Neil talk about counter trend trading and things like that. So if I'm going to be short here, let's just go ring the register again for XPEV. I know it's only 5 cents, but we'll take out 10%. It's nothing, I know, but just for a little bit. All we're trying to do is stack. All we're trying to do is do this right now. We're trying to stack this up for the day. It started off really rough. We're now green. Everything is hopefully going to be good. The market could fall back down a little bit. You know, the funny thing is, although Snapchat is part of that whole social media, I would have thought that Snapchat would have gone today a little bit like Meta. We had Fed chair, not Fed chair, we had Yellen come out today at about, I'm going to say, we were still on the air, so I'm going to say it was about 10 o'clock.
Man. It was early.
Yeah, so I'm going to say it was about here. Snapchat bumped up, but not, or maybe it was this, but not like Meta, and then it fell back down and then back up to the upside. So I feel like if TikTok really isn't, or is, I should say, a national security, kind of like what she was talking, here we go, nice little move down for XPEV, kind of like what she was talking about there, then I wonder, I mean, Yellen is not, you know, the DOJ or the FBI or anything like that, looking into maybe, you know, a little bit more important things other than TikTok. But for right now, nice move up for Snapchat, but only 2.6%. Of course, I'm going to show you Meta. We're up $5, but Meta's up 6.5%. So I'm wondering if the short play might just be in, or sorry, the long might be in Snap, or if the market fades, go short Snapchat, trying to protect the long on Meta. Like they're not trading alike here today, and that's something to watch out for, especially into tomorrow.
There is a distinct difference between the two of them, between Meta and Snapchat.
For sure.
Meta prints money. At the end of the day, for everything you can want to say about how much money they're spending and the metaverse, whether it's succeed or not,
cash cow.
It makes a lot of cash. There's a lot of cash being generated over there at Meta. Snapchat, not so much.
Not so much.
So if anything, like you just found that one, and I'm like, why are we not short Snapchat? Because if you don't want to be chasing longs, I don't really see a level that's obvious. That's the actual reason, is because I don't see anything obvious. But then I just zoomed out, and I saw Snapchat at the 50 period is at 10.20. And I kind of like that. This is where we closed. I think it was on Thursday or Wednesday. Oh, no, was it Friday? It was Friday, 10:20. We're closed right at the 50 period. It's rejected it all week. I'll short in front of that level and that level alone on Snapchat. I just got my first leg out on XPeng. I should probably get out of NEO, or at least adjust my stop on NIO. It's still in the money a little bit, but yeah, I'll just give it the break even on NIO. I probably hung on to it too long. I could have got it all out at the top, but I just got a second leg there. So we're going to ring the register on XPeng. We just got into that one. Ford just filled for the first time down here 13.75, so we jumped into that short. I want this getting back into VWAP. Boeing, we've already been in. This is now breaking VWAP into the downside. Just noting the relative, and it's not necessarily weakness. I understand it's up 1%. But just to go over it one more time, I love the 178.50 breakout. I thought it was a big level for Boeing. I thought I could continue to run. It rejected and failed that break. And then when we got the pump, it couldn't get through that level. To me, that's the kind of short that is an obvious short at a price like that. So first consolidation is where I shorted it. Took some out a little better than 1-to-1. Now I think we can get 176. I don't really believe in any shorts enough to get past a big level like support on the pullback. The initial dip down to 176, that's probably good enough for me. if there were buyers there after Powell, there might be buyers there again, in my opinion. But the one long I'm still in, NIO, if it can't find a bounce off VWAP, I'll just get out on any kind of a VWAP break.
All right. Yeah, allow. Okay, there it is. I'm allowing you guys to see a video. Okay, there it is. So we're good to go.
Finally?
Yeah, finally came through there. All right, so let's go. You might have seen me hit a lot of these on Prad's show because this was what's happening. And there goes XPEV again. Yes, sir. Let's go. This day is just turning out to be... Well, whatever. I'm excited about every day, but this is a good one right now, and especially the latter half of the day. Much more profitable than the first half, as you can see right now, and that's why we don't go anywhere, man. I always say the casino's open, and guess what? We're kicking that damn door every single day. There it is right now, XPEV. We just put this short on, guys. I mean, we just talked about why we liked it. Short there, short, got blown out, short again, and now, like, this is the thing. I'm short right now, guys, 85s. So my out was going to be a break of 11, right? So right there, that's 15 cents. You're now 20 cents in the money. So let's start to go and capture a little bit more on this. If we can get a 65, 66, we definitely will take that and move on from it. So that's going to be a good trade for us. There it is. We just got a 66. Let's go back and forth here with XPeng and go over to Brendo quickly.
All right, we had a note on Eli Lilly, the FDA pulling authorization for one of their drugs. So there was actually an initial move higher on this, but we just spiked to the downside. Again, FDA pauses authorization for one of their COVID-related drugs for Eli Lilly.
Damn it. That's in my portfolio. But I didn't realize what Eli Lilly was doing COVID stuff, to be completely honest with you. So I'll take that as a negative.
Care about that Alzheimer's, maybe.
But yeah. Well, yeah, let's start. I'm glad they're working on big projects, obviously. Let's get Alzheimer's solved. I mean, there's enough people dealing with COVID right now. But yeah, good name there, Eli Lilly. I really like that name for the portfolio. It's at 52-week highs. Probably not after today, but... You know, when tech goes like this, man, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get like
I'm going to bet Procter. Let's see.
Probably Nucor, probably names that you just dropped Procter there, probably Deere, maybe Caterpillar. This is such a good move.
They're all up.
The ES is still up 2%.
Oh, I don't want to look at Caterpillar. I just sold some Caterpillar.
You sold? But that's probably fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with selling names like Caterpillar and all. I'm not selling anything ever in my account. I've already come to that conclusion because every time I do it, it's wrong. But you should do some selling. I believe there was early selling the last couple weeks, especially the last couple days for tax loss. We talked about that. That could have been something that is sparking a lot of people to now get back in, realizing that maybe they sold a little bit too early, trying to get that tax loss and then buy it back in the new year. That shit may have sailed for a lot of traders right now, and maybe they're just buying back in because this move is really incredible to the upside on some of these beat down tech names.
Yeah, it is incredible. I actually just double checked. Caterpillar's flat on the day, but the only reason I did is because Caterpillar took out the 52-week high, and then it rejected the 52-week high, pulled back, and then it retested and made a lower high. So it's kind of like, this has gone so far, and the stock was at 160 just in September. At the end of September, it was at 160 bucks. They pay a div, but every now and then you just want a little bit of cash, and sometimes you got some things to do with that cash, and that's the other side of it, but I won't even get into that. I just want to get back over to XPeng because we've got to talk about what we're in here. I want to double check CrowdStrike in a second because I wonder if that's going to give an opportunity. I just took another leg out there, and probably the regret is I was maybe more patient this morning when this was stronger, which is weird. But if it now gets through 1050, I don't think I should be taking anything till it gets to about that 1020 level from earlier. Ford slowed down, oddly enough. Like, it's consolidating here, so I got the one leg out on Ford. I'm being more patient with that. I want another leg when it breaks the previous pre-market low, and then the consolidation area where it was going to the upside, broke resistance and consolidated. That's VWAP. I want to get out at VWAP if I can. And then Boeing bounced a little bit ahead of where I thought it was going to. I thought it would be a little bit weaker, more weak, I should say, and get down to 176. Well, it got to 176.50 and is now right back up to VWAP. But this one, I want to give it some room here. I just kind of feel like I'm going to be going back into the short if it gets back to 178.50. So I might as well hold out to see if I can get a little bit more. But there are some names that are probably worthy of dip buys. I'll go to NVIDIA here. It cannot seem to get below 163. You really have to zoom out for all of these stocks because the levels that you're at are probably at least last week, if not on Monday. In this particular case, Monday high, 163.50. This is where it's catching a bid. So it feels like that's an extended move, but it's basically taking the week's resistance and saying this is our new bottom. And until it breaks, I'm going to take some dips in NVIDIA. 163.50 is going to be the entry. I can cancel the 61. I don't know why I still have that.
Yeah, okay. I've been listening. I like all that. So I did that too. Actually, it's like right now, it's so funny. Here, why didn't that XPEV work there? It's funny. I'm frozen, by the way. I don't know if you are or not.
Oh, yeah. It's back.
Okay, we're back. Rob, can you send a message to Michael or somebody there? Because our line there just got cracked. And Lucas also said we were just down there. Oh, no show. Oh, that's the no show. I think meant our show is no longer.
No,
it's like no show. Okay, so yeah, double check. Our line just got a little bit of a hiccup there, but we're back. So what I wanted to get at there was Microsoft, man. Like, look at that money in the barrel right now today. That's just through 250 now. I mean, I didn't think we'd have a $9 winner on Microsoft today, but we do. So again, this is going to be one of the bigger trades for $9.
Oh
like that's ridiculous right now. Meta's $5, Microsoft's $9, and then there we go again. I'm going to talk about XPEV, and then my system kind of went all a little bit messed up there. But there it is. I just want to talk quickly.
Execution's fine.
Okay, good. Yeah, I haven't gotten filled in all of this melee here, but we just got a fill down there at 60 for XPEV. So that's what I wanted to bring everyone's attention to. Although the market continues to make moves higher here, XPeng definitely comes in. And look where we got out. Basically the same spot as last time. I mean, I'm not going to let this go all the way. Well, I will let it go all the way back up. But we are now out of exactly half of this position. So out of half of the XPEV position. So if you're in it with me, that's what I'm doing. And honestly, Microsoft, give the stink face to it. I love Mr. Softy. It has been my #1 stock. I've left it alone for a while, but definitely should not have, as it is right back in, man. I'm going to bust this up to 249.50 right now. You know, breaking through that level, and we're going to get out. That's 249.30. So if you break 249.30, we're out, which means the minimum we can get is $8 on this trade. So far, so good here. Let's just keep this Microsoft, this Meta. I mean, look at this. We're $5 in the money. Meta's at day's high as well. So lots of good trading happening here. And Prad just reminded me, Neil, he's talking right now, there's imbalances still.
It's MSCI.
Yeah, so we have a little bit of rebalance coming here at 330, 350 is when it will come out, but those numbers will start tricking in at 330, and then we'll figure out if there is like a big, huge buy or sell.
Well, that's actually a really good point, because
balance.
A month end in an MSCI, I do not want to be holding positions into, usually I'll put trailing stops out. I'm 100% going to have tight stops into 350, because when it's a month end and you have an MSCI, almost anything you're trading is probably in one of these indexes. So even if sometimes you're going to get even some smaller cap names. So I like NVIDIA 163.50. Obviously, as I was saying that, it was at the level, right? So it just bounced $1. I'm not chasing it $1. I need to get it back down here again. So this is me now waiting around for my re-entry, my entry into NVIDIA. But maybe someone got it. I have no idea. I obviously didn't get it. I'm going to still bid down there. I do like the trade. If I reload a short, it's very likely to be Boeing as it tries to come back upside here. It goes anywhere near 178. I want to short that. But it just got pointed out to me that Amazon's pretty weak, right?
I called that. No.
So the app, I want to check CrowdStrike just to make sure it's not doing the same thing. But if we get to the high of the day on the NASDAQ and fail that, and you can short a lower high, that's what I liked about Boeing. It's just a similar setup, right? Lower high, market at high. That's relatively weak, at least for this move, and I want to jump back into it. I will jump into it for the first time. I actually haven't even traded Boeing. And then CrowdStrike is the other name. I want to try to narrow this down to only a few names. CrowdStrike has a wick high through 116, so it's just rejected the top again. I think this could give a possible entry here, but because it's above that morning top, it's still kind of through the high and trying to break out. I'd really want this tight to the high of the day and then not risk too much on CrowdStrike. But I am looking for this as well. Amazon, we'll see if I can even get Boeing. It's now pulled back a little bit, but I'm hanging on to Ford. XPeng looks pretty solid as well. And NEO's a few cents from stopping me back out of that long.
All right, I'm going to adjust. I mean, I have zero choice to adjust some of these stops. They're just blowing up way too high right now, and that's not a problem, as XPEV right now goes into the money for us right now as well. This is just, honestly, the kind of day that this is turning out to be is just insane. Okay, AMD, we'll cancel that. My stop wasn't that far away, so I'm going to go 76. I mean, I feel like that's about as good as we're going to get. Let's go 75.90 for the stop here on AMD. And if you guys can't tell, like, I'm just going to trade some of these names here off of technical indicator. We are long off momentum, though, right? I mean, actually, AMD is not a momentum long. The only one really momentum long is the meta trade. Everything else was just buying support. We said we would be really, really sort of specific on when we wanted to get into AMD. It dipped down, dipped down. Just wish I was here for that, but it's a nice move back up to the upside. What you got, homie?
Roblox, guys, just popping up here on volume spike. Axios reporting that they've, quote unquote, nabbed a key executive from engineering from Apple. So Roblox popping up on that again, grabbing a engineer from Apple.
What's going to happen when they say, oh, they've grabbed the key trader from tradertv.live, and then we'll be like, no, they have not, and then we can deny that rumor and go the other way right there. Ooh, Aaron Donald to miss his first game since 2017. I think they're going to shut it all down.
They got to shut down Stafford.
They got to shut down Stafford. They got to figure that stuff out.
His wife came out and said some stuff that it's like
all their guys are done.
They get a couple of concussions, lingering symptoms. Man, I feel for some of those dudes when you have the pressure to go back on the field when you're probably not feeling right, and you just never want to see it. Like, these guys have families too. That's enough football. Yeah,
they're rich.
I'm seeing, like, Roblox, oddly enough, as you just sort of said that news, it's got that lower high thing going on here where it rejected an obvious top. And then I look at the last time I liked it at 31. I tried to short a 31 breakdown, didn't go. What am I doing? The next day, it's like 31 breakdown doesn't go. 31 breakdown drops $2.50. The lesson to be learned, if you like a level and it shows you the exact same range the day before, it's the same setup. Fail 3160, break down the bottom of the range. Fail 3160. This time it goes. That's the follow through. So anyways, you're getting the same levels here. I'm probably going to like this one off of a lower high the same way I like Amazon, but I don't want to get stuck trying too many trades, and this is already coming down a little bit. So you do have to pick and choose. I probably like CrowdStrike if I can get that one, and Amazon a little bit more, so I want to stick to those. Just looking back over at, what is Ford? Come on, Ford. Ford's still barcoding on me. Yeah, I got to wait for this to break down. If anything, if the market takes another leg and I can add to Ford, I might just add to Ford right here at 75. But at some point, this is going to have to fall for me. I just got a few shorts already that I want to let ride into the downside. And I'm looking for places to add, but I don't want to get too aggressive shorting the top when you have essentially the biggest bull move that we've had in quite some time.
All right. Just quickly there. I mean, can we do anything different?
Oh my God.
We are working on. I got to talk to Justin because I want to say shout out to Dell if you're watching, man. Hopefully we can get some of those new graphics coming through soon. I don't know which ones have we hit in a while. Let's do this one. We're riding the bear today, that's for sure. The bull today. As there it goes, right through your screen and right to the upside. I talk about that as we just wind up taking 50 cents now on 40 cents on XPeng. Great trade to the downside. And I talked about Amazon. Remember, I was like, oh, the names we want. I talked about Amazon and XPeng. So I feel like I've made enough money on XPeng here to sort of justify me not having this. But we also talked about this move as well. So that would have been $1 to the downside. But to be fair, I know I would have had. Why does it keep doing this? Every time I click on XPEV, it takes like...
I'm having the same issues.
Oh, maybe it's just New York names. Are you?
No, I just had
okay. Me and obviously we're on the same platform, so we pass ideas back and forth here on this, the network. But right there, okay, so downside move for XPEV, good trade on that one. All right, what's up? Anybody else want to talk about anything? You already talked about Ford, people talking about that.
Coin.
Okay, Coinbase, yeah, I just saw that in the chat as well. Look, we're here for all of you guys as well. I mean, if there's any names that you want to see, so things are taking a little bit longer to go through here. Before we do look at coin, though, let's quickly look at Bitcoin, the thing that sort of makes all of the sense here to look at instead of Coinbase. Let's just check out a quick minute move here to see what's going on. So we'll zoom. I'll try to zoom back out a little bit here for you as we'll see. So wow, okay. So Bitcoin got going a little bit. We did have that move up to 17 and then a break back down below. Now you're at 16,750. I mean, I've talked about the fact that I like Bitcoin down here, especially if you're going to play it off of, let's go to a 30-minute chart, especially if you're going to play it off this 16 level. I feel like you can go long now and use that as your route. Remember, crypto is a 24-hour market. So, you don't have to worry about it gapping on you. And what I mean by that is like, as long as you have your stop orders in, and I know Coinbase, Kraken, FTX, joke, they all have if you get your money out of FTX would be nice, I
luck with
guess.
that.
I don't know I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't know if money's still tied up in that or not. I have no idea. But I was going to say, you could put out stop orders and limit orders and market orders and all that kind of stuff. So it's not like you have to worry about a stock gapping the other way, right? Like you take Coinbase today, long, let's just say, and then Coinbase gaps down tomorrow, and the next thing you know, Coinbase is opening tomorrow at like $38 because it got a downgrade or something happens to Coinbase. Well, then guess what? I don't have to tell you this. You're stuck that $6 then, right? Because you can't get out. It gaps down overnight. But at least on Bitcoin, if there is any sort of follow through that you're on the opposite side of, wow, this market is we're going to have a $10 damn winner on Microsoft in a couple of seconds. But what I'm getting at with Coinbase is this is why I prefer to trade the coin rather than the exchange. I just feel there's better liquidity and you don't have that outside risk that something goes wrong on an exchange, even though they're capitalized.
Yeah, that's capitalized, this is in air quotes. The most attractive asset on FTX's balance sheet was their Robinhood shares. So, I don't know, like, how do you feel about Robinhood stock? But that was the best thing they had in their balance sheet. I did just get CrowdStrike there. So CrowdStrike in front of 116, relatively tight stop. I mean, I got 115.75. In this market, when it's liquidity levels like this, it kind of doesn't matter. Like, you can just put it at the obvious level and you get to fill. I actually did want to show this graphic because I feel like when you get moves like this one, I always love this. It's like S&P 500 futures liquidity. Oh yeah, lots of it. Yeah, we're not third world. When the market went to the upside, liquidity on the offer was Lord of the Flies level. Meaning, if you needed to punch out of shorts, you were darn well in trouble. I almost said something worse. You were screwed. Banana Republic's pretty bad, but yeah, liquidity on the offer, when we saw that move to the upside, you had to be in right away, and I mean right away. And I was just looking, someone told me to look at Micron, and my first thought was to go to Intel. Look what Intel is doing. It basically, I was short Intel, thank God. Like I actually just remembered that I got out of Intel right as the market was breaking. I was short this stock on that little bit of a pump up at 130. And then I got into the short after the first check back down on that head fake in, and the secondary move on Intel was gigantic. So this is how you got to get away from things. But if it breaks this channel to the downside, this looks pretty spicy to me on Intel. It's 29.30. Micron kind of falls in the same bucket. It's doing the exact same thing. Channeling up at the top, it is hard to love chasing along here, but I'll give you the story on Micron. Now above the 50 period, breaking 55. This closes above $55. You got a wick bottom, holding the 50 period. I think I'm going to be, for the rest of this week at least, and probably next week, I'm probably going to be thinking about Micron 55 longs. You're too far away from it for it to matter right now, but that's where my head is at with Micron. A channel break on Intel to the downside, if the market wants to flush, makes some sense to me. I tend to like the shorts on Intel. Got to ask myself why I didn't just get any shares out on CrowdStrike, so I want to be able to go back over to that. When it did dip, and you want to pay yourself out, but it looks like it got right to my order without really flushing through. So I'm just going to leave it here. I'm in front of 115. I'll take it all out in front of 114.50. This I want to play inside of the range because it's so strong. I know it's down 16%, but this is actually a bullish day for CrowdStrike. Like wick bottom, consolidate up the top, higher low, break out the high, monster gap to fill. So it's kind of bullish in regards to what I see, so I want to make sure I'm paying myself out and getting something out of these shorts.
250. Okay. It's kind of like what I'm kind of doing right now is just trailing these stocks because honestly, I can't. I've really, we talked about another one. Yeah. I mean, I just feel like we do some, evergreens and some reels and stuff like that, and it's like, have you ever seen the market do something like this? And I mean, I think it was Arun or Pratt or something asked Neil, and he's like, the market's always ready to do something it's never done before. And it's not that it hasn't done this before. It's just like some of these stocks, I haven't seen this in a long time where we just kind of gravitate just higher and higher, and like no stops are really ever getting run here. So that does make me a little bit nervous about this move to the upside. I kind of jokingly said maybe 4%. Looks like we're getting close enough to that level right now. So I'm debating getting some out. I mean, honestly, a $10 winner for Softy, like I was not expecting this. We'll take it and we're loving life. But honestly, big move upside. So I'm going to start putting these stops a little bit more aggressive. This isn't super aggressive, man. I mean, we're waiting for literally 250 to go to the upside off of a long. I mean, look where we're long. We're long down here at 241. So it's been a beautiful move to the upside, but I'm debating this 251. What time is it? It's, wow, Neil, we still have so much more time.
There's still an
though.
hour to go, man.
Like,
there's lots of time left.
I don't know.
Lots of time left.
So I don't want to get out. Yeah, good call, man. The power hour is upon us.
Oh,
So-
this is where we are in the SPY, by the way.
I know, we're at a lot of key levels, I feel like. Where's
Someone
the ES?
just asked, the SPY is, now that the SPY has jailbroken resistance,
40-50.
I don't know, is that jailbroken resistance on the daily chart to you?
How far are we from the NASDAQ
On the
all-time
daily,
high?
I don't think you've jailbroken resistance on the daily chart. I think when you look at it, you've broken this resistance, but what are you, 30, 40 cents above on the SPY? That's not a convincing break yet. Up above 404, 405, and it's starting to get rarefied air there. And then I'm thinking about the 200 period, which is that's $3 away, the 200 period. That's what I'd be watching out for. But you're testing, essentially you're at that resistance. That daily's got that crazy wick, so it's a little easier to see here. Like, you're pretty much at it. You're not really breaking through just yet. But if you go, you got to be able to give it up, right? Like, every short that I put on here, I have my stop sort of set, so I don't really have to worry about my stop getting run or missing out on. I'm pretty aggressive. I don't like market orders, but I got my aggressive limit orders locked and loaded and ready to go. I'm going to still kick myself over NVIDIA because, I don't know, like, do I even still want this? Yeah, I want it. If I get 163.50 it pulling back, I probably still want it, but that was about as clean a dip buy as you're going to be able to get. I'll let it get down there and then kind of judge that one if it gets back down to 163.50. Instead of sitting on the bid, I'll let it come down, probably remove liquidity off of the offer. And even XPeng, I'm considering, where do I need to get out of all of this? That one feels like if it breaks, this is it. 1040, it breaks 1040, I think we should see 10 to 1020, but it hasn't broken 1040. So it's either a question of, do I want to add more to the short, or do I just want to take it out right here, right now, and be happy? Be happy to actually end up the day on XPeng not in the red, but a good portion of that has more to do with reversing and taking this long here. Let's be real, like, if I just take up the shorts lost for me, and then we turn the tide by getting this long. The fact the last short worked out, that ho-hum, if I had just been going long all day, it would have been absolutely fine.
All right, so we'll do like that. We'll do a little bit of a wink action here, and we're talking about Microsoft because we're just tweeting it out right now. If you haven't followed me yet, please follow me now. We are tweeting this out that this is where we're getting out. We've been putting out on the Twitter machine here all day some of these trades that we have. So here's my Twitter today. And again, we just go back here. We could see this is the trade that I just put out, and I just gave everybody free on Twitter right now. There's 250. There's the line. We've barcoded in there. If we break back down below 250, we're going to get out of this bad boy. And I said, you know what? Why not, man? Let's take the $9 on the win there. So again, if you guys are looking, whoops, I don't want to show you all that. Those are my personal messages there. But there's Playmaker was in there. I told Playmaker, Pratt, I said, come to Toronto, man. He said he's not coming. So whatever, man. I went to Miami. Come on, bro. A little two different places there, though. Of course, Toronto's much better. There we go. I've preached patience on this one for Meta. We talked about that. AMD, and this is what I was getting at here. The sticky note today, Tesla long. Yeah, buy the dips. Yeah, I mean, we actually wind up losing on that trade at the end of it all, but I think we wound up going short on Tesla, didn't we? But anyways, 184, good little level there for Tesla. And then there's the Palantir $7 long. We can quickly look at that. Like I said, I bought some today. I think I got long at 710 or something, but now it's up to 740. So that looks like a pretty good long. It up another 4 and a bit %. But yeah, our stocks are starting to load a little slow right here. There's that 116 break for Meta, making sure that we have that out, and I don't. So yeah, I have it at 115.50. I'm moving this to 116, starting to now up some of the stop orders to make sure that we capture the full amount of profit here today.
Yeah, I just got the stop out on CrowdStrike just happened. I was just able to get the bid in front of 115, fortunately, here. If we can come to my chart for a second, guys, because Crowd's now starting to go through the high. There we go.
Almost.
All good.
Almost. There it is.
So I was just able to get some out there, but it stopped out, broke the high of the day. If anything, I might start looking for some longs off this on CrowdStrike. If the market can hold that high, like we just showed you the ES where it was breaking out. And it looks like we're going to take out some of those levels and continue to the upside. XPeng's a bit of a different beast. Boeing has to get through 178.50 or I'm just going to be in that one for the short side. It's just relatively weak. It's not even at the high of the day, so I'm not that worried about it. You got to get back. I have to get back over to NVIDIA, and then, I mean, Meta had. I go back to this because Meta was the stock that it was the long that I liked the most, and I took a long time to get to it, like 11 o'clock. After we're done, the morning show was the first time in, and now you're looking to break the top. This is kind of like NVIDIA. I got out in the middle of this range, and we haven't broken this range. So 116 and 117, I mean, if it wants to hold this, you might just be looking at a clean breakout. At 7%, a clean breakout seems crazy, but this is where we're at in this market. Brendo.
I keep seeing this one popping up. AVCT, a little cloud name starting to go, maybe with some of the other ones that are rallying, but haven't seen this one for a while. AVCT, guys, just popping up on a volume break.
Yeah,
Did you say AVCT?
AVCT, yeah. Yeah, AVCT. Okay, we can look that up right now. Ooh, a dollar name. We like dollar names right here on the show. So here it is, a nice little bump up there for AVCT. We can look again on the 20-minute chart. I was just making, sorry about that. I'm always making sure that my stops are in because, you know, we are into 310 right now. I feel like there could be some give back into some of this market as XPEV goes back up to the upside. That should be interesting to look at. Okay, so we've already been here back yesterday, actually, on the 29th. We went up to $1.28. So I would look at that as the top. We haven't really been anywhere else right now on AVCT, so on a run up, just watch out for that 130. I would say it's a short, but a nice little bump there on not great volume, man. It's about 100,000 shares in 2 minutes there. So they did about 20%, about 10% of the day's volume there in the last couple minutes on AVCT. So for me, I feel like there's better stocks out there.
Yeah, I do feel as well. I was looking at the same thing. I didn't really see too much of a trade. Crowd just wick topped, so I'm not really looking for that long anymore there. Gonna have to back away from this. It needed to hold above that 116, get through 116.50, which I remembered was resistance in the aftermarket in yesterday's trade. I'm looking for that reload in Boeing. I'm pretty close to getting it here. Here's the thing. I'm gonna pull Boeing up, and I just want to show you guys. I want to show you guys the actual chart of the ES. So here's the ES, here's Boeing. We can already see Boeing's off of the highs. But here's the ES continually making fresh highs, now breaking through resistance. So if you fail resistance and you're again looking at lower highs on Boeing when you're breaking another level up in the overall market, like that's what I'm getting at. Like if I'm going to lose on a short, this is kind of where you want to be. So I just did that thing again where I talk about it first and then look for the short. So I'm going to try and grab that one right now. Cancel my 118s. I really don't want to get 118s. See if I can grab something on this consolidation. Basically the same price area that we got before. Played a VWAP, played down to 176. This one still sets up for me for a short trade. How far am I going to chase it? Not too far.
Yeah, that's.
So I'm going to add to Boeing. I don't want to chase it too far. But you're now at that level in the futures where if you don't go higher from here, just show me something that's doing this. I know Amazon fits into that bucket as well. So it's a little different. Amazon's not breaking the high, but it's breaking that consolidation. Like I'd be in the Amazon short if it was still down here, which is weird to say because you're getting a better price. It's not always about that. Sometimes it's about the price action, and it's just showing me resistance in Boeing that is held firm at a level I like. Amazon, you really are just about the high of the day, which is the same thing the market's doing.
Yeah, I like Amazon. We did have a little bit of a move up there in XPEV. I know we're talking a lot of the same names here, but I mean, I'm just trying to manage some of the positions. And if you guys have anything here, yeah, Santa did come early today for a lot of traders, man, including yours truly. Like this day did not start off great. Start off with a couple coals in the old sack there, but wow, what a move today. We've made back.
Speaking of, it's kind of cold.
We're still down. Is it cold in here? Not as cold as that meeting room we were in, man. That was.
My feet are still cold.
That was
from
brutal.
that
We went
meeting.
into we had just a call like we do every Wednesday. And we went into the meeting, the boardroom, and it was absolutely freezing in there. And then we looked at the temperature, and it said 21, which normally is okay, but not in that room. That was absolutely freezing. So we're kind of brought, you know, when you get those bone chills, you know, like you're sort of like it's in you.
Lucas was wearing his winter jacket during a meeting indoors.
Yes, because you get that damp feeling.
Enough said.
And then it runs through your bones. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about. That's like just one of those things there. And that's the one
It's
thing.
hard work. It's hard damn work doing this for you guys. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, real hard work. We like doing it anyway.
No,
but again, we always get talk like that. Like, how do you guys do all this? Well, it does take time and practice for sure. Not that we have any media training or anything like that, but we don't need it.
That's that guy.
AMD.
That's Brendan I was pointing to.
Yeah, Brendan. Yeah, good job, Brendo. AMD right here, $4 in the money. Meta, $5 in the money. I mean, I guess my job is trading, which is doing pretty good right now. Microsoft, $10 in the money. And then our only short is XPEV. So again, we've set the stops. I just keep moving them up. I mean, the market just keeps on blasting. We're now at 3.5% up. Like, you know, we talked about this move and it just a continuing extent. We're at the highest spot we've been at obviously all day as we just keep taking profits on everything. This is the move up on XPEV, but now that I see this is what I wanted to get at. Well, we just put a 20, we just put a 61 and it filled us instantly there. So we take another piece out there at 61. We're getting really light now, man. We only have about 20% left of this position. This is the only short that we have on board, but everything is really working and it's cruising right now. So it's 315. So glad, man. Like, took the holiday yesterday, not today, and that was a good move, as this is definitely paying off here. Whoa, one name that we were short early that definitely it's a good thing. And this is the thing, like, you know, I'm short here on Shopify, but look at this, profit, right? We only lose on that last break up, and that was it. So it's like sometimes you sit there and you take the fill and it's great. You don't realize this is what's about to happen. Shopify up 9%. Get out of the way. And that's the one thing that Neil and I continue to preach here. And again, I keep talking about the same thing, but because of the community, like when we get those messages like, wow, my trading has gotten so much better since watching you guys. And again, it is tooting our own horn, but this is why we do this. It's like you gotta have stops, you gotta have outs. We always say this, our mentality is the other way around. I always think, where am I getting out if this trade doesn't go the other way? I never thought to myself, I'm going to hold Meta $5 in the money, or I think Microsoft can go up $10. No, that's not it at all. What I was more concerned about when I put this Microsoft trade on was this bottom, not these tops. The market's going to give you this, and you just take it when it's there. Right? We're like a thief in the night. We're taking money from this market. But there it is. It's a nice move back up to the upside. Just continue to protect your downside, and trust me when I tell you, the upside will come.
That's all you got to do. So we just broke 117 to the upside on Meta. I got up 50s on Meta. I'm now looking for CrowdStrike to break this channel. I wanted to show you, it's going to be hard to see on the 15-minute, but 120 this has room to. You got to pull back all the way back here. Room to 120 if this does want to put a continuation on. I'm not saying it has to get there, but through this top, there's just so much of a gap to be filled that I do like something this week to try to get to the upside. Palo Alto I looked at. I didn't really like anything that I saw there. And then what was the other one? That tops trade, I was trying to find something I liked here, but if anything, and I don't know if we have to pay for locates, if anything, I'd probably be thinking about where do I short this. Again, lower highs, very muted move. Small cap name doing a muted move in the afternoon when you're getting the biggest pump ever. I'd probably be thinking about short, but I'm not sure it's worth it to go pay for shorts. We also have imbalances coming, and it's a month end, so in 30 minutes, you are likely to see outsized imbalances on even names you're not used to seeing them on, so you're going to want to pay yourself out there. Why didn't I get filled on the 117 break? This is what I sort of meant about Banana Republic liquidity, because I did not get the fill on 117 break on Meta. I'm still there. I don't want to chase it too far. I'll probably go up into the teens. That's as far away as I want to go. There's just a lot of room for it to still run here. You got to be able to zoom out. When I say a lot of room, the 50 period's at 120 and resistance is at it's like 118.80, I think, if you go to the daily chart. So that gives it $1.50 to $2 from here till you get to the next level up. So I think it'll be worth it to grab some shares off this 117 break. It can be worth risking 40 or 50 cents on.
Are we having fun yet in the chat? Let's see how many people are even hitting the like button. As right now, we are now $11 in the money on Softy. Oh, I didn't hit it yet. Okay, that's bad. All right, there we go. 688, I'm number 688. Let's see who can get to number 1,000 right now. We have over 5,000. I just said that, but we're really 33 short from that. 5,000 watching right now. The highest peak we've ever had, I think, is like 13,000, something like that. But right there, 693. Right. Let's get it going up higher than that. 721. Let's get to 1,000, please. And thank you. We're We're here every single day covering the market and hopefully giving you guys some of these bangers. Like I said, whether or not you're following us or not, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I wish we could do something about all this, because right now, some of these names that were just long are absolutely ridiculous. Microsoft, a huge move here from 241 all the way up to 251.50, still climbing and still going. Stop order, I'm going to change it to 250.50. Give me that $10. AMD. I'm just going over some stop orders. We're still long AMD down here from the morning, actually. Should have got longer in there, didn't. Now it's up here, 77. We still have on 25% of this trade, as you can see. Out for 50 cents. That looks silly now. 450 in the money on this name. And then Meta is our last one here, as the chart's taking a little bit of time to load. But there's the long break. And this is the one that I'm most proud of. This is when 2 o'clock hit and Powell came on. We took it for the first time for $1, brought it back down. It reloaded it, still believed in it, gave ourselves 50 cents worth of room, and now Meta's in the money $5. But we're not only going long today, we are actually also going short. So here's XPEV, definitely got smoked early on these shorts until one of them made money. And then right now, again, short again into this and cashed it out. But as Neil just mentioned, Google's back to $100. That's another good name to look at.
I'm just looking at the level 2. We had that quote thing, so I'm not really sure I can trust what I see on the sides. I'm going to pull it up for you guys just so you can follow along. Like I said, I got into Meta on the break, but Alphabet up here. Let's scroll. What do I see? Man, I don't see. That's not a lot. 50,000 shares. I just saw someone get filled for 40,000 shares at 117.20, which is a random price on Meta. So a $100 offer of 50,000 shares on Google is pretty much. Alphabet is absolutely nothing. I think it can chew through that if it wants to. Do I want to go short? Do I want to take 99.90 short and then just stop out the high is the question I'm kind of asking myself here. That's the thing. Normally, I'd just be short this double top without thinking about it. I'd just go short, risk 10 to 15 cents, forget about it. Just set it and forget it, risk to reward. This is what's happening in the market. It's making me second guess an obvious short trade. I want to get 117.5 on Meta. For the first out, so I'm going to get an offer in there to get that one out. And then on one trade that's still setting up for that short, which is Boeing. I added one time back in what I took out, and now I'm looking at, do we get through 178.50? That's where I want the hard stop. So any other reversal here, that's where I want to add, then play back into VWAP. For that, Ford is the same thing. It's just, I got the reload back at 1384 or 85 maybe I got, and then this is at 1390. So yesterday's high is going to be my out. Yeah, I could have held on to Ford longer for the long side of the trade, but I was short biased on Ford and just way too quick of a trigger to get out of that one. So back into Meta longs. I think Google, regardless of whether I like the short off of 100, I'm going to like the long off of 100. It's a question of whether I'm going to short it, and I'm kind of talking myself out of it.
Yeah, I'm just sending out a clip here about what we just talked about there for trading. All right, let's do that. We'll send that out on Twitter. Okay, all my orders are in, so there's really not too much going on for me. Right now it's 3:22. I did want to look. Remember I said Snapchat had a chance to go as well? I feel like we might have... missed it. Did we miss it? Yes, we did. That was at 2:30 when it was down here against 10.05. You can see now it's at 10:20. I did that little talk there. I was like, I don't really understand why Snapchat's not going upside, yet everything else is. And there we go, Snapchat going, but not as much as everything else. But remember, Snapchat was up 2.87%. So that was, again, given, sometimes I remember some of these numbers. And so there it is again, giving you 1% there if you took Snapchat. I know a lot of you in the chat were doing that as well. Thank you, JJ. As well. Sean is flustered. Nah, far from flustered, my guy. Over there, Zach. No, this has been such an amazing day. Okay, if I'm flustered, it's because I've got these stop orders in. And just to talk about them again, Microsoft breaking through 250.80, we're gone. That's going to be gone. AMD, because we're starting to pull back. AMD's not pulling back, though. AMD, my target was...
breaking out.
Yeah, it was just Microsoft. Microsoft's falling back here a little bit. So Microsoft definitely falling back off, but whatever, man. This is $10, literally right now, $10 in the money. We're happy with that. It's funny because the market, and where's Sharif? Where's my main guy here? Right there. I mean, at trade of the day, it was the 2 o'clock. The market was up 2%. I said, we're going to go to 4. There's 4% rate there. So that's not a bad call at all. That's why we've been holding some of these longs. So we will take some profits. But like I say, every time I look over, the net keeps going up. So we're going to keep continuing to manage it. AMD is really on one. You mentioned breaking out. It was just Microsoft, it looks like, that was having the problem there. Because AMD, if you want to talk about a stock that's on absolute fire right now, from 77, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles straight up to the upside there for AMD. So yeah, the party is still on in this name, guys, AMD.
Sometimes you got to be able to, you just have to suck it up. It's like, at one point you're longing 111, and it seems like that's a good price, and then the next thing you know, you're going long 117, which is literally the high of the day on Meta, but it did get to 117.45 or 48, so I got out. I think I got 45, quite frankly, but then it got to 48, so that's the first scalp out. It's a breakout style trade, so if I want to check it back into this, it's actually not quite 50 cents risk when I look back to it. It's really more like, yeah, it looks like it's more like 30 or 40 cents risk on that one. So if it does do that move back in, I want to have relatively tight stop because I'm long at the high of the day. Got to respect it. Alphabet's at 100. That's, I think, going to be the next trade. But CrowdStrike broke out. It took 116.50. I want to see if I can get that back at that price. If you continue this move upside, which is what's exactly happening, the ES is now through that resistance that we're talking about in the charts. Next stop would be the 200 period, which is a bit of a ways away. So there's room for these to go. I feel like the next shoe to drop is 100 on Alphabet. The frustrating thing is if it just sits here and doesn't go, then it's by the time you get to the imbalances, this might just be a short that I missed out on. But I kind of talked myself into only going long this because I still have Boeing. And then, of course, I have Ford, which is about 2 cents away from the top there. This is why you pay yourself out on some of those shorts. I'll go back over to Ford. Because you are still looking for that flush trade on the trend. Now, I wasn't taking anything out till it went 10 cents. That's because initially that's what I was risking. I'm risking a little bit less than that. And let's see if this one can come back in. I just see relative weakness in Ford. You're already through the highs and making fresh ones time and time again. Ford has yet to really break out. Brendo.
I felt like we hadn't mentioned Tesla yet, and then it popped right up in front of my face on a day high scanner. So we just did tag day highs there, guys, on a decent volume spike. 5.2% for Tesla. I was just reading through a note suggesting that even with, obviously, today, it's not going to matter, but on track for its worst year ever as stock down 53% for Tesla still.
Yo, what's up? I want to say, I believe, Matt, I think I just answered you on Twitter, to be honest with you, when you DM'd me, I believe. I'll have to go double check if it's the same name. But GME pushing Keltner's also. We don't have all of the, and I'll have to do this, and I'm going to get in trouble from Michael Noss, because he can be like, Trade Ideas has that technical analysis indicator, but I don't think we do here. So I can go here, and so you're gonna have to send the chart through. I guess you can't send the chart through, but I'm going to look and try to look at some of that as well. There's the indicators. Create one. So yeah, we don't have anything. So there's K. Kurtosis is where it stops. So we don't have that Keltner's, but we'll look at that. I'll try to find it out. I'm going to do a little bit of studies. So just to show, thanks again. That's what the community is all about. I told Matt in a DM that he sent me. I was like, if there's anything that you think can help out my trading, please send it through. I think that's true of all of us, man. We've all added. I know we've added lines to our charts because we notice different things working out for different people and so on and so forth. So I think continuously to share and get better and to learn, I really think that's the key to growing. So I want to shout out to you, Matt, as well. I will look. I haven't been back to Twitter yet, just managing these positions. There's only a half hour left in the day, so that's going to be a good one here today to end the day off, but I will check out all DMs and everything like that after. And then just as a cleanup note, I've been seeing a lot lately, and I know Elon's going to fix Twitter, but there's a lot of people messaging me that there's so many, and I know it happens to Neil, Brendan, all of us, Pratt as well. There's so many sort of copycat Twitter accounts out there. Please do never, ever, we're never going to ask you guys for money or anything like that, do not fall sort of victim to send us Bitcoin or send us anything like that. That's not what we're doing. The show is completely free, and we will never ask you for money at all. So, of course, you could super chat us on the show. That is completely up to you. And we do have that membership that you can grab for $5. And I want to thank a few new members today as well that I saw there. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank Bears vs. Bulls. I mean, the way that he's been moderating for us, it's really cleaned up the chat. And I think that provides, again, another great experience for all of our members. The better the chat, the cleaner it is, the more trade-related discussion. That's what we're all about, having a good time and being safe about it all as well. So, Prad cheering right now. Oh, Argentina scored. Okay. Was I not supposed to spoil that? I guess a lot of people probably. Who's Argentina playing? Poland, okay. So
Messi had missed a penalty apparently earlier on in that match, which doesn't happen very often, but so did our guy, Alphonso Davies, missed one. It was the first time in his career. The break of 100 on Alphabet, so I took the first scalp out because it only went to 15s. I usually look at that first push and take something out. It's only going to be that third. I'm going to buy the dip back into this. As the market continues to go higher, unless the SPY gets to resistance, it almost doesn't matter at this point. If the SPY gets to the next resistance that I could find, I'm going to like it. Boeing just got right up to the top, 178.50. That was the breakout long from earlier. It didn't work. I mean, it worked, but the way back in didn't work. So I'm short again in front. If it breaks the high, I'm going to be out of dodge. CrowdStrike is no longer, it's not running as strongly as I would like to have seen this. So when I'm looking at this dip buy, and I still like the dip. It might not be 116.50. I think I have to give it back to the trend low, which will be around 116 even. So it's got a bit of a wick top on it. And I don't want to be chasing this too aggressively. So I think 116, if it can hold a consolidation there, that makes more sense. The market is showing some signs that it wants to pull back here, and it'll make sense to be a little bit cautious about these longs. But it's been an absolute bang to the upside as far as I can tell. Meta, because it's a long again at the high of the day, the scaling on these charts is going to be nonsensical because we were sitting at 111 earlier on. So once I zoom right in, you can pretty much forget about it. It's still in that 50-cent channel. But until it either breaks down 117 or takes out 117.50, there's nothing else to do. I don't want to be getting more out in a 50-cent range when this could go another $1 if it breaks the high.
3:30 now. Hey, what's up, Dell? I see you. Yeah, you're a little bit delayed there. Okay. Buy Tesla for long term. I don't necessarily agree at these prices, but I mean, if it's a long term, then it doesn't really matter. The NASDAQ 100, there it is. We called that. I always say this, man, I got to just switch over to futures at some point because there goes the NASDAQ straight up to the upside as I just sit here and hold these equity names. I just don't want to get more long. But again, if we thought it was going to go 4%, I could have just punched into more Apple. I don't even have Apple or more any of these, but there's that 4%. Rewind the tape an hour and a half when I called that, and it may not even stop here. So there it is right there, that 4%. It reminds me of that. Remember when it was Fed, when it was CPI, and I was like, NASDAQ, the Qs should be bought at 280. It was a 280 call for the Qs. Obviously, now it's way higher than that. But that one, I think those options, people were telling me they went 1,800% in the money or something. So today, if you had something similar, you are laughing. There's the TQQ. This is what I like to trade on a regular basis instead of the futures. So this would have been something that I would have gone into. Why? Because it's triple levered. So you're going to get 3 times the exposure to the market. You see this is up 12 and this is up 4. So there's the 3x right there. I really, really like the triple Qs. That is for sure. XPeng not doing anything. I mean, where do we stop? Where? I don't think we stop today, to be honest.
Well, I think what's going to happen is 350.
4 o'clock.
350 because of the imbalances. I think that's going to be that line in the sand where I want to be trimming just about everything, and it doesn't even matter what it is. I don't care. But XPeng, I said either I'm going to add to the short position or I should get off the dodge, but it didn't break the high, so that means I should be adding it. And you know what you can do? Tighten the stop up. So I was giving it to, forget about 11 now. 80 is all I care about. All I care about is 80. I'm just going to go short this. If it breaks at 1080, I can get out of it. It looks like Boeing just barely held that top, so we'll take it. But some of these highs, if you're long from the morning, where have you been really scared about this? I guess $11, it kind of looked like it was going to break down, but then it keeps holding the first level of support on the way back in. So I kind of feel like I should be getting it all out in front of 1040. So I just got back in, tightening the stop to 10 cents, and then if we can get 30 pennies for the last of it, then that'll be fantastic. We'll go ahead and take that. As far as Google and Meta go, Alphabet and Meta go, I just want to play these for the more obvious levels. So I got some on the initial push on Alphabet. It's now going to be quarters. I'm thinking 150 and then 101 will make some sense. And then trailing stops all the way. I want to have tight trailing stops when 350 comes on every position.
Yeah, he should try.
What are they talking about?
I don't know. If there's a symbol they want to get unblocked, they should try it. So,
yes, of course.
All right. I mean, do we want to talk about stop orders again? I mean, I'm just, honestly, that's really all that I'm doing. Like, we're now $11 in the money here. Like, we had an $18 snowflake winner. I think that was my last largest one. But then we started having $6, $7, $8 winners as well on a lot of these names. And there it is right there. Let's go. Oh, Canada. We might not be good at soccer. Well, we're okay at soccer. But we now have the best trading show is a Canadian trading show. That's ours. And here's a great move up for Microsoft, a great American company, Seattle-based. Microsoft upside there. Apparently, Elon Musk now thanking Tim Cook for taking him all through Apple. Really impressed with the headquarters. That's a good job there. So maybe they're friendies again there. Yeah, kiss and make up really easily there between Tim Cook and Elon Musk there. Yeah, they can kiss and make up over, like, you know, a gold bar if they wanted to at some point there. All right, so 251. I don't know, honestly, man. What do we want to do? You guys tell me here. I don't know what we want to do with this. I'm guessing a 251 break will get out. It's just straight up to the upside. Like, my stops were here, 248 for $7 or $8. Then we were here at 249.50. Then we were at 250. Then we're at 250 there. So I don't know. Maybe, I mean, that top isn't bad. 251.50. I'm just going to give it to 251. That's the 50 period. So Microsoft new out 251. Meta, again, you talked about Netflix just keeps on going. Meta and Microsoft are both going and going like crazy. And we still have pieces on board for both of these. So nice little upside move here. What is this level? That's still 117. So yeah, I like to see that come back to 117 before we get stopped out. And then the very last one is AMD. It's 334. We still have a while to go here.
Still got time. The market's still going up. You just broke that. You just broke some more levels on the upside. I had to take out Boeing. It worked initially, but I had to get out of Dodge when it broke 178.50. Even XPeng, it goes 4 more pennies, and I'm going to get out of it. That's 1080. Google did get to 150, or at least close enough to it that I got another out there. I wanted to continue to go. This is the thing. Sometimes you've got to grit your teeth, accept the fact that you're buying a top on a ridiculous move because it's a ridiculous move, and it just happened to continue. So that's what's going on right now. I haven't gotten any other pushes on Meta. It's now just breaking the high again. I should be thinking about 118 even if it gets there, but it'll make more sense. The closer we get to 350, the more I'm going to want trails instead of targets. But we're still 15 minutes away. Brendo.
I was going through a volume list here, and it's very widespread, guys, right from industrials through banks. Now, even a name like this, Carvana, just popping up at day highs on volume as well. So they're buying up the entire market, it would appear.
Oh, like someone just said, look at GME. I'm like, I'm sure it's up too. I just haven't looked at it. GameStop.
Well, we can look at it.
Oh, well, I'm trying here.
Yeah, I mean, remember, we're going to probably have to pay for shorts if we ever wanted to short. Or maybe not today, $26. Really? Look at GameStop?
You know what's under...
Not much happening. What?
You know what I missed this morning? I have to call myself out for this.
Oh.
Ape broke $1 today, and I was nowhere to be found. Look at how clean, look how fresh and clean that is. It's a $1 break. It then rechecks, goes to $99.99, and then goes right back down. Obviously, look, Ape, the thing about Ape is AMC can go up. What's going on in Ape is it's heading down as close to zero as it can get, and then any value is going to be in AMC. And it's just like the $1 break. I was looking elsewhere because the Chinese stocks were doing, I mean, they were ridiculous this morning, so that's not where my attention was going to be. But that's as clean as it gets. If this isn't bouncing, it's just ridiculous. But it's more about, like, AMC is going to bounce. It's just Ape's not really going anywhere, and I'm not sure what's going to get that stock to rise. That's going, like I said, to zero. But GameStop and AMC is not where it's at. Not even breaking highs. Big Tech is breaking highs and going higher. I bet you if I go to Tesla, like I took the break of the high on Meta. I took the break of the high on Alphabet. Alphabet's 100. Like, who's not going to take a 100 break on a stock? I mean, usually as a day trader, you want that one, but Tesla broke as well, but it's like 190.50, sort of a random break, and it's barely going anywhere. So maybe it's not the right one to be in. I'll stick with Meta and Alphabet. They seem to be going. XPeng, maybe even scaling out of more of this will make some sense. It's like you'd think there'd be tons of profit taking in Meta to end the day. That would make logical sense to me, but until I see it, you know, I'm just going to have my outs there and hope they get filled because the market's jamming to the upside. The stock is up 46%. I can't imagine there wouldn't be profit takers, but it's not happening yet. Brendo?
I just noticed I have a strange hole in my chart, but I'll show it to you anyways. This is the Diamonds ETF, guys. Just saw a note suggesting, yeah, I don't know what this is. Just saw a note suggesting the Dow just crossed 20% from its lows to where we are right now. So a theoretical bull market, but it wouldn't be the first time a 20% rally led to new lows, but just a monster move. I just checked as well. The S&P is about 15%, the NASDAQ 16.5. So they still have 4 or 5% to go, but the Dow 20% off its lows now.
Why you got to say that?
Well, remember, we talked about it earlier today. I said the Dow was only off by 6%. And then now that I look today, it's up another 2%. So
I want to get out of these ones.
The Dow is very, very close to breaking even on the year. And actually, considering the NASDAQ now only down 16.5% or whatever that is pretty reasonable, I would say, considering that we've just gone through.
Yeah, I'm not a meta.
We didn't even raise, I mean, there was no raising of rates for years and years and years. And then finally, they sort of brought the death hammer to us this year. And to be only down 17% after being up, what was the NASDAQ up in 2020? 50, 60%. So, you know, you're getting huge moves up, followed by now. It was nasty, and it could still get a lot nastier. So let's not think that maybe the lows are in. These moves do help. The ES, obviously above 4,000. So, you know, what goes up can come down, and sometimes we experience that a little more quicker than we even expected.
So, like, it was right at that moment there was a bit of a curl. It's like Brendan came on, said that stat, and then there was a dip in Meta. That'll trail me. I'm going to have tight stops on the trail at the end of the day here, so I just took Meta out. I still have Alphabet. It could do the same thing. Both these late day breaks. I got the second leg closer to the high, but I'm at break even. I'm not holding this through break even on Alphabet. And XPeng, for a brief second there, on that last little dip into the downside, this started to break down. Looked like it was about to fill all these orders into 1050, 1040, and then came right back up to that 70 area where we just re-entered. So I think this one could roll over, but man, like there was just that slight little pullback. There's a lot of itchy trigger fingers to pull some profits, and in 10 minutes when the imbalances come out, and it's not saying there can't be buy imbalances. It's just when you're up this high, sell imbalances are very likely to cause some profit taking. So, you know, you're going to have a bunch of them come out, and they're all going to be a lot larger than normal. That's the best way to put it. You're going to see imbalances that are bigger than normal, and we're going to show them to you. NVIDIA's up 6.5%. I was at a dodge on that one early and then going into other stocks. But we could see 170 on NVIDIA tomorrow. Well, we'll see about it. I don't know why this isn't going back further, but that was a monster level. The 160 break was probably pretty clean, but you just had to pick and choose where you wanted to stick it in. And I want to make sure we're covering this one just briefly. Haven't taken a trade in Snowflake, but going into the earnings, I was talking about Boeing, which eventually broke the level that I was shorting in front of. Snowflake never did. So I would have thought this would have been a little bit stronger on that push, right? Like companies that have valuations that don't make a heck of a lot of sense, you would think would do better than 4% and would have made a secondary break. So I don't wonder if there's some caution going into the earnings on Snowflake. Look, this is what happened to them. What happened to CrowdStrike? I don't think Snowflake will do that because CrowdStrike was a little bit worse than the rest. But yeah, they didn't seem to want to break the highs on Snowflake today.
Remember, CrowdStrike they beat. It's
beat
the guide.
Top and bottom.
Yeah, so as long as Snowflake shuts their damn mouth and you don't have to guide.
But the problem is,
I don't know why they guide.
You know why they guide? Because that's what traders in the market have asked for. Because it's all about the short term. It's all about what's the next quarter going to be, and making those bets. So people want that forward guidance, and once you get it, you're used to it. And then it's like, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. But at the end of the day, if you don't say it's going to be a bad next quarter, then nobody knows until the next quarter.
And I just wonder how, it's like there's so much uncertainty in the market. I find it's like so hard to say what you're actually guiding towards.
Well, the smart thing was when people were like, after COVID, just saying, okay, we're going to stall guidance, and then when it makes more sense, we can give it back. Yep. And that's given some cover for some names to go out there and say, you know, we're probably not going to do guidance again, and they'll be safe enough until like 2024. Let's just say. That's probably the smart move.
Yeah. No, it makes perfect sense. I think we're all saying the same thing here. It's just be very, very careful with all this guiding and all that kind of stuff. And look, I think that it's prudent. Get ready for that. I think it's prudent to guide lower if you think that you are going to miss. I feel like that's good. So us as traders want to be more educated and more, properly positioned, I guess, and know what's under the sheets here for stock. So I agree with it. I just feel like if you don't really have a great idea, then maybe don't say anything, because you can see what does happen to your stock. So we'll see what happens with Snowflake. I'm not in Snowflake, so it's not. I'm just going to wait for that. What was going on? You were just there about Netflix? Well, I'm almost getting stopped out too on some of these. AMD came close to 77. We're going to take $4 on that one clean if it does break. Meta came close as well to breaking 117. That didn't happen. And then also, you know, it was just a little scare, man. We got close to some of these stop outs, but we're not stopped out. So all is well right now. We'll just wait to see what happens in 7 minutes. Remember, I think you're very important what you said there. We do have the imbalances coming out, and they're right here. I'll clean this all up because we don't need to see the ARCA ones, but you know, this market could get real spicy here in the next couple minutes as we have MSCI rebalancing for November, and it's been, or for the quarter, it's been a crazy quarter. So I could definitely see some of these names getting bounced around a little bit. And trust me, I know you don't understand, like none of these names make any sense, but when 350 hits, you're going to see Amazon's, Netflix's, it's going to get real, as they say.
The really real yo is going to be
the real yo.
Well, look, first of all, this market has been as real as it's ever going to get. Top to bottom, it's look, Netflix has already gone 10% in my books. That's, I mean, 280 to 308, that's 10%. I understand from yesterday's close, it was a little bit down early on, so it's not quite at that 10% marker, but that's complete insanity to see Netflix do that. I just trailed out of Alphabet because I entered this one at, like, I didn't even trade Alphabet till the 100 break. But at this time of day, I'm going to slap the trail at 100 when you're taking that kind of a breakout. Like, this is not holding it from the bottom, and then where are you going to put the trail? Now, this is getting in at that 100 level. So tighter stops up there. And that was the same thing with Meta, right? Like, it's a tighter stop because I was re-entering the trade from earlier. Like, I was holding on to some stuff from earlier, but when you're entering the high of the day break, I don't want to get caught losing on the last one. Brenda, what's up, bud?
Minor note on Tesla, guys. The California Transportation Department picking up 399 Model 3s, yeah, it's not Model Ys, Model 3s. So a nearly, not quite, but nearly 400 Model 3 order from the state of California.
All right, I mean, that's not a huge order, but that's a good one. I don't mind that. You know, those guys, apparently Tesla in their Shanghai plant, we had that video, they're spitting out about a car every 20, 30 seconds. So that's nice that they have another buyer.
Cool
but
video,
as far as I know, I mean, it's really hard to get Teslas even around here. So I don't know what it's like down there, but I know there's a lot of people waiting for them. So I don't know if you get to jump the line if you buy 400 cars or not, but good on there. We wait for deliveries.
It can't hurt you.
Can't hurt you. That's a very, very valid point.
Usually that's the kind of thing that just sort of happens if it's not happening anyways, right? Like, you might not officially jump the line, but you might jump the line.
We didn't talk about this yet. I just put gulp in our chat because Brendan coming with the news here that we have over $3 billion to buy. So that's been a big number, man. It's $3.5 billion right now to buy. But remember, we do have influence coming out from the imbalances, right? And so when they come out from MSCI being rebound, I'm just shutting this time. We don't really need to see it. I want to get as precise as I can for you guys when it comes through here. So we'll just go like that. You're going to see the name here, the size. You're going to come up here. That's going to be the most important because in this situation, size does count. And then you're going to wait to see here, buy, sell, or did we ever figure out what N meant? Because I thought that meant kind of was like paired off near the end. So we'll see if it's flipping. Okay, so we'll wait. Oh, that would make sense. So we'll wait to hear. These are all as of 9:30. So nothing really to see here yet until, see, now I don't like the way that looks. I want to open up a little bit more. In 3 minutes, we'll get that number, right? And then we'll see what's happening on that play. But I just can't believe it. $11 now in the money. $6 Meta, $5 AMD. XPeng right back to flat as well. We're almost out of XPEV. So we're going to take one more shot at this if it gets into the 90s against 11. But until then, we'll wait 3 minutes and see our faith.
Yeah, so I'm now flat on, flat meaning I'm out of all my positions here. But someone just said in the chat that the ES, now obviously the SPY, the E-minis, S&P 500 futures, like they're all going to track the same way, but they're not exactly going to be precisely the same. But the SPY on the 200 on the daily did get there and we're about 50 pennies off it. Like it got to the 200 period and kind of pulled back. So maybe the ES did break through on the 200. It was the SPY that I was watching there. And that's why I said the 200 period, I wanted to take some profit. This is what I was watching. And it did pull back off of it. So I didn't want to have a bit of a quicker trigger finger, I suppose. But the imbalances can come out. That can give you some opportunities for some trades. Like you could easily Like if you break out from here on the SPY, like who knows what could happen? You've already levitated higher. I'm gonna at this point kind of have this up. I'm not really gonna be putting any positions on unless it's after 350 on some imbalances. Xpeng's close to 11. I didn't wait for 11 to get out of it. 3.5 million to buy. That stock's up 40-something%. Yeah, I'll just get out before 11 even and not even wait for it to get to that price. Let's just get out of that one. I want to have a quick look at the imbalances in about 90 seconds. There's still a top that could get taken on Tesla if you're watching. It's right at 191. I don't want to pull away from this. You guys can deal with the black chart for a quick second. So Tesla, potential breakout. Like if you see a big enough buy imbalance on say like a Tesla, market goes, there's always a stop long opportunity for something like Tesla. The algos are usually all over that, so actually making that trade physically can be difficult, but you got to be watching that one if you're gonna have any shot at getting any kind of an imbalance trade.
Okay, so 1 minute right now. Look at the Qs, man. Up 4.2% was the day's high on that one. Now up 4% on the NASDAQ. I'm just going to hold it like this. So at 350, the imbalances are going to come out. It's going to say some stuff here. Size. We're going to look for the bigger ones, and we're going to just see where they go. We are in all of our shares still, but again, we have our stops out. So if any of those stops trigger, I'm going to be in and out. I mean, I'm not going to do anything. The hands are completely off out of every single trade right now. We are simply waiting and holding put here on these markets. So let's give it a second here. It's going to update in about 20 seconds, and then we'll see. So you're going to look here. The names I'm going to call up Softy because it's my biggest one right now, up 5%. Let's wait to see where this one goes. Hopefully it comes on here in only 15 seconds. We are going to get this release. These used to be a lot bigger, but with algos and with machine learning and stuff like that, they've really taken away some of the opportunities. But let's wait to see here what happens right now as the imbalances are coming out. And there it is right now. The NASDAQ right now up 4.07. Let it all settle down. I don't know which way we're going. Visa, AT&T, Goldman, that's not Goldman Sachs, GIS, right there, Merck. I don't see any NASDAQ names on here, so I feel like we're delayed on NASDAQ. But look at Softy. Let's go. Bang this one out. Softy now $12 and moving higher, higher, higher as this market wants to go upside. There's some NASDAQs. Intel, Neil, big buy. Microsoft, big buy. 5 million shares. Intel, 6 million shares. Sorry, I'm not going to click these anymore. We're having data problems.
Yeah,
We're completely frozen.
If you weren't on that
right
stock,
now.
you can't flip to it.
Amazon, okay, yeah. So Amazon, we'll look at Apple with a big buy as well. Google with a big buy. Tesla with a big buy. There's Google, $100. Here's Tesla, 192 and ripping. Holy shnikes. This is a monster, man. $13 now in the damn money. Bang, let's go for Microsoft. Big, huge day here today. Your boy is back, baby.
Yeah, there was some big ones out there. Look, obviously you can get Tesla if you're an algo. 191, that was the one we were looking at right at the open, right before that 350, not the open. I tried to break out on it, didn't quite get it. Quote levitation is what happens when the algos take control of the trade, but if you're fast enough, sometimes you can grab that. It was a good consolidation break. This is pretty much insanity. There was a couple of names out there, like Intel, that this will probably pair off. I know you said it was huge. I don't think this is going to move that stock very much, to be honest with you. This is one that could pair, so I'd almost be looking at that in the other direction. Now I don't even see Intel anymore. That's now gone.
I'm getting nervous about all these.
Yeah, where did Intel go? It might have already paired.
No, it's here. I see it. It's at the top. I don't know. Maybe we have different ones. But Microsoft.
They just showed up.
Okay, just showed up now. Okay, so there it is. Let's go. Close the trade. Let's go, man. Trade for me on Softy. We are now out of Microsoft, and there is the fill. So we'll tweet this out as well. There we go. There's the Microsoft. This is long there, out there. Good job for Microsoft today as we just cover that and get out. Looking for the same thing to happen here on Meta. If that takes out 117, we'll get out. And AMD the same thing down to 77. But what a great day that's been for us. Tesla is still popping. People saying, yeah, Tesla really popping off right now. 192 and change. Big time upside move here for Tesla. So yeah, everything making some money here today. Good movement. I like it. It's been a great day for us. We'll see about trading some of these imbalances when they get a little bit closer. FHN right now. Wow, that stock big time buy right now. Big time.
Yeah, I'm just watching. That one just spiked. Like this is 12 million shares to buy, and it's done 12 million in volume. So that's why you got it was doing nothing, and then you get a bit of a spike up. This is one. You get a flip on this, and it pairs off. There was probably a trade, but you're going to wait closer to 355. So we try to give you guys this feel, like you get massive imbalances. On the floor at 355, there's a lot of pairing off that goes on, and then again at 358. So you'll see some of these reduced by large quantities at 55 and then at 58. And because there's imbalances all across the board that are huge, you can see a big move in the market one way or the other. Like if a bunch of the buys pair off at the same time at 55, you can see the Qs or the SPY pull back in, and the same thing can happen at 358. So if you're in something, you can consider tightening your stop or taking profit in front of those time frames, or looking to get into a reverse if you have the market data. So this FHN is now on my radar a little bit here, just because it's the biggest one. I mean, anytime the imbalance is the same size as the actual volume on the day, I'd say that's significant. I'll probably I should have actually maybe crossed a lot more aggressively on Tesla, because that 91 breakout, now 93s, and it's still on there in the imbalance locator. So Tesla's still holding up pretty nicely. I mean, the entire market's gone. You got through that level on the SPY as well. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but you can't call today a pretty large success there. 2.5 on the ES. It's the NASDAQ. It's actually more impressive. 4.25. 12,000, by the way.
Man, are we ever considering today a successful day? I mean, look what we just did again. I mean, let's go. We just took XPEV short. So there it is again, nicely 10 cents in the money. We're short 92, or sorry, 9 cents in the money. We're short 92s now, as we're just sort of like topping off our day now here. So let's just put some more bids. You know, we might as well just get out of some of these here as this day just comes into a close. Let's wrap this up. It's 354 right now. Not much happening, not much on the radar other than some of these imbalanced names that we talked about. I do like that FHN. If that can stay, then maybe we'll have something, but there's XPeng right now. Some more fills out. I don't know, maybe like now we're starting to go back up to the upside here, so let's get a little bit more out. Hopefully we can fill.
Here comes 55.
I was gonna say hopefully we can fill out some more stuff here, but like Neil said, there we go. We just got an 87 fill there, I believe, or what did we get on XPeng there? 87s, yeah, so not great. We'll hold this out. Here comes 355. We are expecting a flip on some things here, so like see, there we go. I don't see Intel anymore. Amazon is a little smaller here. There's Intel, so oops. No, Intel's still there, so it's still a decent buy.
Where?
And still going upside right now, 2.1 million shares for
There
Intel.
it is. Okay. FHN still stays.
Yeah, still going. So the name that we got out of course, was Microsoft, and we got out at 254. So, you know, if that still works out, that's fine. We're still there for it. Let's just see what happens. It's now 255. Market's still trying to go. I mean, I called 4%, didn't call 4.28, so my bad on that. But now it's a nice little move to the upside here into the close. Just watching some of these names, man. There's that FHN. Still not doing anything, so that scares me a little bit. Watch out for this to pair off.
Yeah, like so at 55, it stayed 11 million, but there's still some time. Okay, now it just made a bit of a jump. I was about to say it wasn't doing anything. Now it's starting to go. Probably anything above 24.75 seems like it's solid, but you want to have a quick trigger finger if you're going to be chasing this. At 358, if it pairs off, anything I have long, I'd want to be maybe pairing off or getting out. It's still 9 million shares, so I think that's at least
Holy
reasonable.
shoot.
But like the market's jamming. This didn't even get through the fresh high, so there's probably some room, and it's still 9 million shares on that bid. Like I said, Intel paired off a long time ago, half of that pair off, and then some of the other big tech names I'm just watching here paired off significantly. So it's just this one that's left.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's a party time here, guys, and I'm glad Rune was able to fill in for me yesterday, but I'm sure glad that I was not getting a fill-in for today. Look at this move, man. XPEV, are you kidding me? Like, we just went short 1093 there on XPeng. I'm covering at 70 right now, and that was just minutes ago. Also, we got out of that one, and we also got out of Meta. I just said offer enter on Meta and took that out right there at 118. 117.90 on Meta we're out. Only one remaining, the lone trade for me, AMD. What's up, Brandon?
One of the biggest numbers I've ever seen since we started doing this at 50 there, guys. 11 billion at 55. I saw a few people floating around 13 billion on the update, guys. All buy.
All right. Well, hey, I mean, definitely. I mean, we called this move. We're really happy about it. I hope you guys are okay. If you guys were short today, that does suck. But this could be a bear I mean, I don't know if it's a bull run or not, a bull trap here, but I feel like it's a pretty strong move to the upside. I feel like Powell has now given the all clear for a little bit of a Santa Claus rally, if that's not happening right now. So I watch out for that. It's the last day of the month, so there is some positioning happening as well. So that is something that also needs to be thought about when you're making your trades. This is not going to happen tomorrow. We could retrace back down a little bit for the first of the month. So I would just say, hey, let's be very, very patient with our trades, just like we were today, and we're able to definitely have a good positive day for you. So good day here. We'll just watch AMD into the close with only 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, with 358, that's the other time that things pair off. Still 8 million shares on FHN. I see BAC doesn't matter. Verizon doesn't matter. Coke, yeah. So most of the big techs are pretty much gone. It just happens to be this random FHN there. Tesla's still kind of making that move at 194. But like I said, it's really just about the fact that most of the big names. Ape was there for a sell of 1.5 million shares. Man, Ape can't get it out of its own way. But yeah, most of the big names have paired off. It's just some of these smaller names randomly, and then AT&T, Verizon, they're just way too big stocks for them to get too concerned about these imbalances. So if you did take the Tesla break, that FHN's actually coming the other way. If you did take that Tesla breakout on the imbalances, it's pretty much paired off. If I had it, I'd be out of it right now. At 358, it's still going fantastic. I'd be covering into that move.
We're going to have Katrine on the bell, so that should be exciting as she's going to be coming through here today. So get ready for that with only a minute to go on the day. Lucas, there he is right now. Definitely overworked over there, Lucas. We're going to get that guy a raise. All right, so nice little move to the upside here for AMD. Let's just call it a day and get out of the way here. Oh, there he goes. We got 53s there, or 52s. Nice out for us on AMD, and obviously there it goes. We can't talk about this too much better than what it looks like right now. I hear the clickety-clack, so Katrine is back in the building right now.
Clackety-clackety-clack.
Clickety-clack, clackety-click right there as only one wearing high heels today. Katrine, I'll wear mine tomorrow. I just got to find a size 13
My
somewhere.
daughter was wearing high heels for she wanted to do a fashion show last night.
Yeah, nice.
Thankfully, there's no video because I had to take part.
Okay,
but
that's okay.
It's just too young for that. By the way, I did take this FHN going into the close. We'll see what happens, but it's starting to pair off. There's still about 5 billion. But we got to drop the countdown, Katrine, in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You know what's up. Been a fantastic day as always. Let's see how we close up in 2 and 1. Ring it.
And that's it. Thank you, Miss Katrine, for that one there. Yeah, good little bell ring there. Into a 4.5% move for the NASDAQ. So what a great day it's been here today. I feel like we continue tomorrow, not to this extent, but it wouldn't surprise me if some of this does spill over. Jerome Powell really came today and put some comfort for everybody, I feel like.
I got an idea. How do we roll the profits from today into paying the heating bill so we can actually get some heat for the office?
I think we should do that.
I think that would
feel
be a
fine.
good idea.
I guess you are cold.
My
today.
hands are freezing, but my hands have been cold. My feet have been cold since that meeting we had, so.
All right. Brendan, what a monster day. To say that we called it would not be incorrect, but it's hard to predict this kind of a move. The S&P, Brendo, 3%.
Huge. I just noticed, guys, officially the Dow up 20% now from its lows. So that close got the Dow up 20% from its close or from its low. Again, doesn't necessarily mean bear market's over. Technically, yes, but we've seen 20% rallies lead to new lows in the past. Here we go. 2.97 for the S&P. Almost got to 3. There's 1.8 for the Dow. 4.5, as Sean was saying there. Unreal move for the NASDAQ off its lows from this morning. Positivity at the bottom as well. Nice 6% move there for Ethereum.
Thanks, FHN. We just looked at FHN there. We can talk about that quickly here. I'll call it up. So that print did come. So if you just wanted to see here, just to show you FHN, you might have heard some clapping. It closed at what, 80s, I think it closed?
It was like 80.
The word it closed at.
It was like 80-81. It was essentially
80-81, and then the huge print came. You could see it.
Yeah, I'm not in it, by the way. I got out on the print. It just hasn't updated.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so a 5-cent win there. There it is right there. 29 million shares printed right there at 85. So it closes at 80, print 85. So, that's good management there by the floor broker, making sure that it's not too much out of price. So good trade there for FHN as it goes. But wow. What an amazing day here. Really, really happy with it. And I'm just glad that everyone could join us one more time in for the day. We're back tomorrow. It's going to be another banger on Thursday, of course, coming through. I don't know what the Thursday night football game is.
It's the Bills, man.
Oh, Patriots.
Bills Patriots
yes,
is
that
the
should
game.
Patriots, hopefully will die on that one. We'll see.
Hopefully will die.
No,
Josh Allen
it's
is
the divisional game.
Josh Allen's off the injury report. Apparently, he was able to practice in full with the elbow getting better. So
Okay.
let's roll, Josh. Let's
Should
get
be
him.
good. We'll find out what
do
the spread is, and we'll talk more about that game tomorrow. I'm excited for it. Is it at home?
You know what? I don't even know.
You don't know. Okay.
I don't even know.
All right. Should be a good day
I should
anyways.
know, but I don't.
Man, give your family a big hug and kiss. Today was a wild one. You never know what's going to come through. But I want to give a big shout out to Katrine for ringing the bell, Justin for earlier. Big shout out to Prad. Shout out to Ian today as well. Sharif on the ones and twos in the midday show. Prad, Ian, Sharif, definitely hold it down. Lucas, thanks so much. Thanks to Rob today as well, who was doing that. Thanks to Fahad, who's not feeling that great, so he had to step away. So shout out to Fahad. Hopefully you feel better as well. But wow.
Better.
Crazy. It's gonna even look more crazy when you go watch the trade of the day right after this, because we were along Meta at 112 talking about, where's it gonna go, and you can see what happened the rest of the day. So hey, join us tomorrow. Nothing major tomorrow, I don't think, Brendan. We had Snowflake, we had
CRM.
November, there is a number, guys, at 8:30 that will move the markets. We got that second estimate PCE this morning. We get the actual November PCE number tomorrow. So
Okay.
8:30.
Great. Well, hey, if it's a good number and the market wants to rally again, we'll be here for you. So for everybody here at Trader TV Live, a big shout out to you guys, and Bears vs. Bulls as well. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back every single day. Make sure you don't make the mistake and miss us tomorrow. We're back at 8:30, and we'll see you then.